There you go, they've got that one.
Because Brisbane Bears.
Well, they have 1 year, 2 years as a Bear. Wasn't much.
Yeah. Did they sing this one, or did they do Brisbane Bears Will Live Forever when you were there?
No, they had Live Forever.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, second one, which is a shame because I can't remember most songs.
It's not exactly in Mike Brady's top 4.
But there is. I tried to work out who is the vocalist. Yes. We'll just get the last bit.
We're a team, the very best team you've ever seen. Wherever Brisbane Bears. Our home is here in Queensland, and there's not a shade of doubt.
Is that Mike Brady?
It sounds like Mike Brady, doesn't it?
It does.
But I don't think it is. I looked it up.
Didn't they have, but didn't they have all those songs and they went and recorded them? This is the old ones. Is this the new one of the new ones? Because it wasn't that many.
Hold on, last night.
Keen. Oh, Keen. Oh,
We're the Brisbane Bears.
how are you going to say that as a coach? Come on, fellas, we're keen today.
What's your memory in this jumper? Do you have when you see that jumper, you think of somebody or a game?
I don't know those.
I grew up in Geelong. I remember when Geelong kicked
You think
the high score, whatever.
Think of Gary Ablett kicking a bucket of goals and Billy Brownless kicking a bucket of goals and Dunstall going on.
Yep.
But was it the first season at Cardinia Park where the Bears went down there and blew Geelong away in a complete and utter surprise?
There you go, yep.
So there you go. Gorgeous conditions. If you are just tuning in, yes, this is ABC Sport, the last game of round 8. And no, you haven't got on some weird YouTube wormhole that's taken you back to retro football from the late 80s. The Lions in the Brisbane Bears strip, which, by the way, was worn from 87 to 91. Now, they did play 4 games at the Gabba in 1991, moved full-time to the Gabba in 1993. So the maroon with the gold V came in 92, so that was the last year down at Carrara when they basically knew that they were redeveloping the Gabba and they were going to move up to this part of the world. No changes to the selected teams. The sub for Brisbane is Will McLaughlin. For the Gold Coast, it is Jake Rogers. Let's get down to Jess Stewart, who's on the boundary. She knows her footy in this part of the world. Feeling nostalgic, Jess? How are you?
Yeah, certainly feeling nostalgic. I don't want to give you this stat, lads, but I was born in 96, so...
So literally, you weren't even born when they played in this jersey.
I always say I was born the year the Lions were, so...
Well, the merge.
The merge officially. Well, yeah, the merge. But, just an update on conditions tonight. It's beautiful at the moment. A bit like anyone that isn't following Magic Round we've had all weekend here across the river over at Lang Park, but a bit like over there is a little bit of patchy rain just across the radar. It doesn't look to be too bad, but just keep an eye out tonight because throughout the match, while it looks beautiful at the moment, we could just get every now and then perhaps a couple of little showers. I will let you know as soon as we see anything perhaps a bit ominous coming up, but beautiful night for football, not really much of a breeze. Just on the crowd quickly, I know you mentioned it earlier, Q, that it's likely we will break that attendance record tonight. 30,285 last year for this corresponding match. Now, we do know it's sold out, so really the way they break that record, it all depends on whether or not how many Gold Coast Suns members take their allocation as well, and the Brisbane Lions members take their allocation. So we know the sold out sign's up. They physically can't sell any more tickets for the game. It's just a matter of how many of both sides' membership bases actually show up to this match tonight. And you'd hope with all the conditions and a long public holiday tomorrow, as you mentioned, we do break that record for a Q Clash tonight.
Good on you, Jess Stewart, down on the boundary. Let's get to the footy because the Lions bouncing back to the winner's circle with a 45-point victory over St Kilda at Docklands. The Suns also responding from their only loss of the season last week, a second-half obliteration of the Sydney Swans, where at one point they kicked 12 unanswered goals. Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus tell you whether or not Q-Clash 28 will finally be the game that reignites a rivalry which has been dominated by Brisbane of recent times. The Lions have won 11 of the last 12.
Yeah, they have. Matty, what do you think you're seeing as a coach? Like, you know, you're still coaching, and it's the AFL. I think the AFL's real dream would be the Northern States to have this type of rivalry like it was yesterday with an amazing game with the Swans and GWS. How do you see it when you've come from, as you've done, you've come from Adelaide, you've come from South Australia, you've come up here. What do you think now? It's building. I think this is the strongest game we'll ever see, what we should see, and certainly both teams are amazingly talented and playing good footy.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Having been at the Suns a few years ago now, they wanted to be, and they disliked Brisbane, but they were just never good enough.
Yes.
And they haven't been. My question is tonight, are they going to be? Yeah, they're sitting pretty on the ladder. What is it, 3rd v 4th? But the Suns have beaten the 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th and 14th team, and they won by a point against the Crows, who were 5th. So how good is their form going? It looks great. It looks like it's built for finals football. It's competitive, it's contested, it's speed, it's all those sort of things. But how is it going against Brisbane, who aren't flying either, even though they're sitting on top of the ladder? They haven't played their best footy, but it needs both teams to be winning more than they're losing, and then that rivalry will build. And then because then those losses really sting when they've got two really good teams.
And I think at this time of year, it's been sort of I don't know if you felt the same, you get to these kind of 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds and they just sort of drop off a bit. And these are the great games you kind of look forward to, those real rivalry games, Q.
And I'm just waiting to see here. Yep, it has been updated on the Champion Data computer as well. David Swallow is a late in for the Gold Coast Suns.
They did say that he was coming in.
So Ben Long is out. So I mentioned Jake Rogers is the sub. That hasn't changed. But David Swallow is going to be playing for the Suns. So Ben Long is not playing tonight. This is the first appearance of the season, which now makes it, would you believe, there are only 2 original Suns going around tonight, and one of them was going to be going around for the opposition.
Right.
In Sam Day.
Yep. Yeah.
So David Swallow has come in and will play for Ben Long.
And that's David's first game this year.
First senior appearance.
Hasn't played reserves. No, he hasn't.
At all. He's walked straight into the senior side.
Southport played the Suns 2 weeks ago, and he was in the coach's box. Then
so he's got to play forward.
Did he play VFL last week? I'll double check that.
Idiot, right?
I think he might have played
so
when we were just before the Sydney game.
Well, he's not going to tag or anything. He's going to play forward, surely. He's not.
Yes.
He wouldn't have the engine to go and do that anymore.
Sorry, Q, you're probably right. Yep.
No, that's okay. I'll double check that. And by the way, on the SMS, you can stay in touch. 0437 774 774 is the number for Sunday night footy here on ABC Sport. 0437 774 774. I did Google the vocalists for Dare to Beat the Bear, but we're getting a few texts thanks to Mick and to Lee who are saying, that version, they reckon it's Mike Brady, and boy, it sounds like Mike Brady.
Absolutely.
I think there were different versions, but it sounds like Mike, doesn't it?
Oh, that's got to be Mike Brady. It's not exactly up there, Kazali, or even One Day of September, but
that's close. There couldn't be that many that could sound like him. He's not a guy that you would go around like Elvis and try and fake, would you?
One of the iconic voices.
Oh, he's a ripper.
You're right, Q. He played 20
last week.
Last
so
week.
He had one game in the VFL.
Yeah, one game and he's in. Does that mean the coach likes him?
Well, I think a mature team, Brisbane, bring in a guy who's mature, knows his footy,
keeps him
play a roll down forward.
Yeah, keeps the calm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Lions, just to kick off a day that many are hoping sort of revitalises this rivalry. There was less than a kick in it in the VFL out at Springfield earlier today. Lions won by 2 points over the Suns.
Well, the two sides mightn't have that established rivalry, but there's 2 blokes that do.
Oh, yeah.
There's Zorko versus Miller, and that's not just a one-off. That's been several games.
Oh, they don't like each other, and nor should they. Yeah, there's nothing better than disliking your opponent.
Absolutely.
And Zorko breaks his own record for being the oldest player ever to appear in a Q Clash.
An obvious question around...
Marcus Ashcroft clearly didn't play.
Obvious question around just the team changes. And I think it is the broader question, which to date Sam Day has helped solve, but Charlie Cameron not setting the world on fire, Joe Danaher not a part of the Lions anymore, and what's been the difference? Well, Logan Morris and Kai Lohman, guess what? Both of those aren't playing tonight. What do you reckon, Acker? Where did the Lions' goals come from?
Well, they've got to start coming from Cam Rayner, although, it looks like, and Archie, don't get me wrong, Charlie is going to have a night. I don't know when it is. It might be tonight, but he's going to have a night.
So, round 8 concludes with Q Clash 28. Is this the night where the Suns take a step forward and make this not just a sibling rivalry off the field, but a genuine footy love-hate relationship? Michael Price.
Umpire he won't recall that bounce. It came down to the hands of Lockie Neal. Handball back to McCluggage. at the back of the stoppage. His tumbling kick is cut off there by Dan Rioli. Immediately flares it right to Noble. Noble on the arc at right half back, just a chipping ball to find Noah Anderson, the skipper, just short of centre wing on the Stanley Street side of the ground. It was Lockie Neal who won the toss and will be kicking to the city end. That's the right as we're looking to it here at the Gabba. Chip back in board to Noble. He takes off immediately, goes to the right to kick it to right half forward, beyond centre wing out of side. Big pack of players flying. At the base of the pack, the ball spills close to the boundary line. Wilmot put a high shot on. It was the Suns who will
too high.
benefit of that free kick. It's Will Graham, one of the Palm Beach Currumbin connection, will take the free kick for the Suns at right half forward.
You're going to have to get military kind of, binoculars to see those. Colours are hard to see.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, Jason, it is a bit garish, the clash. Graham kicks to a big pack in the pocket. Roved by Miller, gets a hand pass clear. Plenty of players around it, though. And we'll see a ball up in the right forward pocket for Gold Coast, left back pocket for Brisbane. Yeah, the yellow against the red.
Blends in with the seats. And
It does. Witts wins the tap down. Has he got a rover underneath? Yep, Swallow, the late in, picks up for the Suns. His hand pass stolen by Bailey. The Bears slashed lines have got it. Hand pass to Neal. Neal to Archie. Tackled immediately by Noble. And we'll see a ball up. Still attacking half of the field for the Suns. So Cal Archie, one of the few cross-blended Q-Clash men, having played 45 games for the Suns. Witts wins at ruck time, does his own roving. Out the back, Anderson hands it to Miller. Miller to Noble. Defensive side of the pack to try and create space. Now Hewlin hands it to Miller, who's tackled by Dunkley. Got his hand pass clear in time. Hewlin takes it on right half forward, gives back to Noble by hand. From 70, a kick to full forward, and an intercept taken by Swallow. He takes the grab for the Suns and will have a shot on goal, the late in from 30 metres out.
Here he is. Not the best kick going in there, but good, well read.
he's thinking, how easy is this game, mate?
I've just come out of EFL. First game of the year. Oh, how nice is that? Beautiful. Falls in my lap. Follow though. That's why you see that calming influence. You'd want him to go back and stop this, and I'm sure he's thinking the same thing, Q.
He's the Kiwi in excess cover, the original son.
I like that one, Q.
Kicks from right, slightly right, 30 metres out. David Swallow, the old timer, kicks the first for the Suns in Q Clash 28. Gold Coast won straight. It even says Bears on the scoreboard. Bears yet to score. This is going to kill us all night. 3 minutes in.
The Bears, well, nice tackle. Just that missed tackle there as they came out. I think that was McLuggage there, Matty Primus, that came in. And then we like forwards in front. Is that what you say to your boys?
Absolutely.
Read the ball. It's going to come in quick. Chaos.
Some things change and some things never do. Forwards
do.
in front. But just a good start from the Suns. A bit of territory. Played in their forward half. These centre bounces tonight are going to be crucial because Brisbane, I think, are going to need a lot of inside 50s because their forward line's been very clunky, and if they get dominated like they have the first 3 or 4 minutes, they could be in trouble.
Paid dividends already, having him in the side. He's got the first goal.
Back into the middle, perfect bounce. The second one, Witts gets there first, slapped it into the path of McLuggage for the Bears/Lions. Handball over to Neal, puts it to the arc. Tumbling mark taken by another former Sun in Sam Day.
Seriously, this could not happen, could it?
It could. Let's face it, they were both drafted in 2010. He comes in. From 55, he's launched a nice drop punt. It gets to the line. It's slightly wide. One behind as it's rushed through. One straight goal to the Suns. One behind to the Bears. 5 points the margin. 4 minutes gone. First turn.
Good signs, though. That's what you want him for, as Noble kicks it in.
And it's a short kick in, marked by Powell in the right back pocket for Gold Coast.
But the moustache has got going on at the moment, Powell.
Rolls on to defensive 50. Long kick to the outer wing and a pack. Roved by Miller, tackled by Dunkley, hand pass turned over. Stolen by Berry of the Lions, hands it to Neal. Neal hands it on to Wilmot. High kick towards half forward. Day at the front of the pack, got a hand, couldn't take the mark. Hewland Roves is immediately tackled. Ball up.
It's always interesting to think when you've got a player that's played from an opposition club, would you be in their head there, Matty Promise? You'd be thinking, what can we get under their skin? Who do we get?
Well, it was career over until Joe Danaher said career over for Sam Day, I think. Rayner burst through the stoppage. His kick is smothered by Collins. Ricochet, though, to McCluggage, who has a snap-on goal. But he's missed out to the right and it bounces out of play. And I say that with no disrespect to Sam Day. In fact, it's out on the full. But would Sam Day have been picked up elsewhere? He's definitely going to be delisted from the Suns, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, it's good shoes to fill, tough shoes to fill, but he's here.
Nobody standing the mark with Mac Andrew in the left back pocket for the Suns. He launches it towards centre wing. Front and square was Rao. Handball back to Anderson. Speculating handball on the half volley, well picked up by Tuke Miller.
Great
and
tackle.
then beautifully tackled by Zorko.
Like that.
He's nothing about the Zork. Don't worry about that. He kicks it to right forward pocket. Great kick on the lead to Hipwood in front of Mac Andrew. So Hipwood will have to release this from 50. Very tight angle to the right. He's a left footer. He's on the right side for that.
He did that well, Hipwood. He playing on Mac Andrew athleticism, but he turned around, gave him a big shove in the chest, got a couple of metres off him, and then a beautiful kick by Zorko.
And that's what he's improved. That's why he's getting shots on goal. He's getting a lot smarter on his opponent, but certainly when you've got the most elite kick in the competition, well, the most elite kick in the team kicking two, you've got a chance. And Eric, can he build on his couple of absolute cracking weeks?
16 goals for the year for Eric Hipwood as he approaches the arc of 50. Let's go. He's pulled this one to the right. It's one behind all the way. So 2 behinds to the Lions/Bears. 1 straight goal to the Suns. It's a 4-point margin. 6 gone first quarter.
Sunday night footy on ABC Sport as Noble has no one standing the mark. He takes 2 bounces and almost runs to defensive 50 before kicking to the wing. And Andrew Marks close to the boundary line.
Touched over the line.
Throw in.
Didn't control it beyond in the field of play.
pulled
And the boundary umpire was in perfect position. He was right underneath us, and a good call from the boundary ump says a juggled mark. Second bite was beyond the paint, so a throw-in out of play. Lions just still attacking side of halfway. Witts gets the front of the pack, but roved by McCluggage for Brisbane. Kicks it towards half forward. Day spoiled by Collins. Roved by Weller of the Suns. Hand passes to Rioli, who runs around Hipwood. Hand passes back to the corridor. Noble has a fumble. He's jumped on by Bailey, but Collins helps out. Still a Gold Coast ball. Rioli's hand pass, hoping for Andrew. He taps it on, and Powell eventually's got time. Just shy of centre half back. They made a bit of a meal of it, the Suns, but a good kick there. Andrew Marks at right half back. Hand passes to Miller. Miller kicks to the wing. And Marcus taken by Butterick out there for the Suns.
Oh, look at the background.
I'm
hardly seeing it.
It's a garish look. It's not great.
There is some glare there. Don't worry about that. There to beat the glare. Is it?
3 votes in the Marcus Ashcroft Medal of Commentary.
Oh.
Well done, Price.
What does garnish mean? What was that word you said?
Garish?
Garish. What does garish mean?
Not very pleasant.
Right, exactly right. So there you go. Will Ashcroft gathers just inside 50 and puts it outside the arc and finds Jasper Fletcher at right half-back. He comes towards the Vulture Street side. Beautiful lead, well honoured. He hits McCluggage on the chest. In front of the ABC Sport commentary box, he traverses the boundary line. Well, that's very close. It could have been out of bounds on the full. In fact, it is. It'll be a free kick to the Suns to Will Powell. Jess Stewart's on the boundary.
We were talking about where the Lions are going to get their goals from. Well, they're playing Darcy Gardner up forward, it appears, at the moment.
Yeah, good eye, Jess, as Powell forward of left half back. A long kick for the Suns to a pack at half forward. Goes beyond the hands. Ainsworth first to meet at Roves for Brisbane. Runs the boundary line at right half back and a good kick to the wing. Dunkley Marks wants
50.
to play on. Hewland was in the way, so that's either play on or 50, and it's gone as the latter.
And it's stiff because he just put his arm there, and he had every right to. The handball receiver was on. Unlucky. It can go your way, it cannot go your way.
When the umpire's not quick enough to call play on.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Dunkley March to 50 and chips to an unmarked man in the pocket. It's Ashcroft Will.
Have a look at that hairdo.
Oh, I know. He's been the guy on the posters.
And his mum. His mum's been just sneaking into a couple lads here and there. We've been enjoying that.
So Will Ashcroft is about 10 metres in from the boundary. Man on the mark, 40 from goal, right half forward. Suns got the first, Lions the next couple of behinds. Now Will Ashcroft with his right boot kicks it across the face of goal. It won't have the journey. Collins is there in the pack to fist it through. Another behind for Brisbane. Gold Coast 1 straight. Lions 3 behinds.
Yeah, 2 poor kicks. Sam Days went right to the 50. That one went too easy for the Suns defenders to push it over. You'd like another 10 metres out and really make the Suns defenders not have to be able to spoil the ball through.
So Will Powell just inboarded the ball about 30 metres and found Noah Anderson. He was looking for Flanders on the lead, missed him. The ball rolled over the boundary line at right half back for the Suns, left half forward for the Bears Lions. It'll be a throw in on the Stanley Street side of the ground. 3 points the margin. The Suns lead it.
We're getting this skill, the really good contest so far. Not a lot of emotion in it. Let's see where it goes. He's got to take his shots, though, both teams.
Off hands, Anderson tackled into the ground there by McCluggage. It's going to be another ball up in a very similar spot, just forward of centre wing and just short of left half forward for the Bears/Lions.
Wits with the tap down. Rode by Flanders of Gold Coast. Hand pass out the back to Jeffrey, who finds a space to have a bounce run boundary side right half back. Chip around the wing marked by Anderson. Quick play on with the handball to Flanders. Hands to Butterick. Hand pass infield turned over. Ashcroft comes through to combine with Fletcher. Fletcher's hand pass. Hoping there for Leicester. He's tackled. Hand pass turned over on the wing. Rowell wins the ball. He's under pressure from Neal. Gets his boot to it. Not a great kick. Was at the shins of Holman. Has it stolen. Rowell with the tackle. Got over the top of Neal. But play on. Rush ball to half forward. Powell comes through for Gold Coast. He's wrapped up in a tackle and has it pinched by McCluggage. Brisbane's ball in the middle. Entry inside 50 over the head of Hipwood. Out the back, Collins lumbers. He's got time, the big fella, to gather in the right back pocket for Gold Coast.
He puts it to right half back, and getting in front was Wits. Well spoiled there by McInerney. Towed it off the deck, cut off by Jeffrey. He's at right half back now, Stanley Street side of the ground. He's looking for the lead of Walter. Well spoiled. Front and square was Fletcher. His handball cut off there by Swallow. Handball backwards to Rowell. Off a couple of steps. He puts it into the path of Miller. Well spoiled there. Froggy Lester got back. The veteran smashed it over the boundary line away from Took Miller. Right half forward for the Suns, and it'll be a throw in. Just Stewart's over there on the boundary.
Yeah, I've just had that whole passage right in front of me, lads, and it is absolutely high pressure, high intensity football at the moment. It probably looks a little bit damp out there, a bit dewy as well, so it'll be just interesting to see how this goes.
Throw in right half forward for Gold Coast. And again, Wits beats McInerney for the tap. Rode by McCluggage, but he's tackled by Holman, lost it. Anderson wins it for the Suns. A hand pass to Ainsworth, wrapped up immediately by Fletcher. And another stoppage on attacking 50 for Gold Coast.
It's almost a rope-a-dope. Let's see who can execute and be cleaner and hit their targets.
Give that one to McInerney. Tap down to Will Ashcroft. His hand pass, though, stolen by Ainsworth of the Suns. Hands it out the back. Miller rides a bump to win the ball for Gold Coast. Hand pass defensively to Collins. Kick to the pocket to Skimmer. Doesn't hit the target of Ainsworth and cleared by Zorko of Brisbane. A tumbling ball to the outer side. Was their intent to keep that in? Hipwood was close enough.
Yep. Downfield now.
And yeah, Zorko, I think, swan dived after getting a push in the back as well. He certainly put some mayo on that one for Zork.
Hitman Holman likes those ones.
Free kick to Hipwood on the wing.
There's a bit going on behind the play between those two as that beautiful pass hits Connor McKenna. Just behind left half forward, the Irishman wheels around onto the right foot inside 50 at the back of the pack. Charlie Cameron hassled off it there by Will Powell. Powell has the ball stuck underneath him. Tackled into the ground. The umpire will come in and ball it up. It's going to be in the left forward pocket. For Brisbane, they trail by 3 points at the moment. The Suns got the first goal of the game, followed by 3 behinds to Brisbane. 13 gone of this first term. Umpire throws it up. Slapped into the path of Rowell. The ball smothered off his boot. Enter Noah Anderson. His speculating kick is a good one as he flares it to the left back pocket to find McAndrew. Beautifully weighted kick to Will Graham. Late arriving though, Ainsworth. Not Ainsworth for the Suns, but Noah Ainsworth for Brisbane. Punches it over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in front of the commentary box.
Here's Michael Price. I'm Quentin Hull. Jason Ackermanis and Matthew Primus, your experts. Jess Stewart's on the boundary.
Interesting. Suns are holding 6 forward from stoppages, which is unique to them, trying to get away from Brisbane being able to mark the ball and intercept it.
Throw in on the wing. Reed's doing ruck work with Day. Miller rode but shrugged off it. The Ashcrofts combine. Will gave it to Levi, now to Dunkley. Hand pass around the wing. Hands it off to Levi. Gives it to Will. His kick intercepted. Will Ashcroft's kick marked by Andrew at left half back for Gold Coast. Chips in field. Hewlin takes the grab. Continues the transfer across the half back line. Marked by Jeffrey, centre half back. Good kick to the outer wing. And Butterick, who has started well, takes another grab southern side of the wing. Plays on, kicks Gold Coast to right half forward. Swallow presents along with Walter. Neither could mark. Picked up by Leicester of Brisbane. Rush clearing kick from left half back towards the wing. Jeffrey first to it for the Suns. Couldn't mark. Robes his own crumbs. Hands it to Humphrey. Hands it on to Butterick. Another touch. This one's wide. It was chipping from Miller, and Miller can't mark. It's out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Brisbane at left half back. The Suns lead it by 3 points.
Ball comes back to the pocket to find Harris Andrews. He's going to go laterally to the right to find Payne. The inclusion, or one of the inclusions in tonight's side for Brisbane. He's at the top of the goal square, saunters away, and delivers it to the arc at right half back to find Levi Ashcroft. Still standing the mark there, Holman, only a metre or so outside the defensive arc. Ashcroft tries to sell the dummy, ends up getting barreled by Holman. Kicks it to the wing. Good fist there by Bodie Hewland at ground level. Cal Archie, handball to Ainsworth, He goes around the corner by foot, and it's a good one-on-one. Sam Collins versus Darcy Gardner. Collins wins out. McAndrew can't pick it up towards the boundary line. Eventually he's slung around and taken over the boundary line. Hipwood was the tackler at right half forward for Brisbane. There'll be a throw in, Jess Stewart, boundary.
Just a little bit of rain starting to come down now, gents. I mentioned that there could be little showers that come throughout the radar tonight, but just enough to keep it nice and dewy for the players.
Yeah, it's been a patchy weekend in that regard. We had some really heavy rain yesterday. Thanks, Jess. Roved by Levi Ashcroft up the crumb. And again, he hands it to Will, right half forward. Will Ashcroft with a deep entry. It's a hoper to the goal mouth. Out the back, bury a chance for Brisbane. Has to play tackler on Butterick. Great job to lock it up. And we'll see a ball up in the left forward pocket for Brisbane.
I think if you're the Bears, you're pretty happy with the movement at the moment. They are making everyone work on offense and defense. It's going to be a long game if it's going to be like that.
Sam Day flips it over his head, but only straight to Weller. Clearance from the right back pocket for the Suns. Rush kick. Humphrey can't mark, but gets rid of Fletcher to win the ball. Kicks the Suns from right half back to the wing. King caught behind. Tries to fist it away from Payne. It's picked up by Ainsworth of the Suns. Hand pass, Swallow slipped but gathers, gives back to Ainsworth, 60 out, kicks to the corridor, looking for the lead of Holman. He's nudged off it by Ainsworth. It allows Levi Ashcroft to pick up. Bears have got it. Hands it on to Ainsworth. Kick to the wing, and Darcy Gardner marks defensive side of the wing. Plays on with a kick to half forward. On the head of Dunkley. Great late arriving spoil from Rioli to punch it out of play. Throw in right half forward for Brisbane. Gold Coast one straight. Lions three behinds.
That speed then, Matty Promise. Rioli.
He saved them. Got him. They were out Brisbane then, but his leg speed was able to get over there and save the day with the great spoil.
I reckon Darcy is providing that contest there on the big fella down back. He's going to have to take him one-on-one. That's why he's in this side.
Throw in, right half forward for Brisbane, off hands at ground level Flanders. It got slapped out, picked up by Will Ashcroft. His handball intercepted by Rowell. Belted into the ground by Rayner, fairly though. They let loose the ball. Swallow smashes it forward, and it was in the hands of Noah Anderson, tackled by Levi Ashcroft, and it's holding the ball. So the younger of the two Ashcrofts has the free kick on the Vulture Street side of the Gabba, just forward to centre wing. He's signalling forward. The Suns have got back there in numbers. He pops it to a dangerous spot. McAndrew at the base of the pack smashes it forward. Front and square, McLuggage confronted, dragged to the ground by Jeffrey. That's holding the ball. Good tackle. Drags him down on the arc, and Joel Jeffrey takes it for the Suns at left half back.
Drizzling rain and a low-scoring first quarter racker, 18 minutes in.
Yeah, what was he thinking? That it just gone to super slow mode then, McLuggage. He's got to be a bit quicker. It's wet conditions adjust.
Jeffrey kicks to the wing. Walter is there to punch it away from Andrews, but roved again. The Ashcrofts once more. Boy, his name's on the medal, Dad, and here goes Levi handing it to Will. Will from 70, kicks to full forward. Collins in front, though, for the Suns.
That's the matchup I was talking about, Darcy on Collins.
And he takes the mark just forward to full back, plays on quickly with a chip pass to Anderson. Anderson kicks to the running Ainsworth for Gold Coast, middle of the ground, marks in the bullseye, plays on, kick is on the head of Swallow, spoiled away by Payne. Brisbane's ball at half back. Fletcher roves, hands it to Day. At night now for the Lions against the Suns. And he kicks it to Levi Ashcroft. He's got another one, Levi. Chip short to Fletcher. So we've gone from son of a gun to son of a gun. Piglet, as we like to call Jasper.
Piggy. Good old Piggy.
And
Jr.
Jasper Fletcher from 70. Kicks to a congested forward line. Rayner goes to ground as if pushed in the back. Crowd thought it. Umpire agrees. Free kick to Cam Rayner. Had his back shoved by Joel Jeffrey.
Oh, he made it too easy too for him in the wet. That's a nice dive too, straight in the middle of the back. 3-on-1 there, Matty Promise.
Yeah, well,
easy that one.
Brisbane are sending a lot of numbers up. That's why the Ashcrofts and Fletchers are getting the ball. But then when they go inside 50, Suns have got a spare back. So both defences are on top. But 11 inside 50s Brisbane have. They want to score a goal here soon.
Yes, and these are the guys that have to do it too, Cam Rayner.
Yep.
He's got to prove himself now. Can he kick set shots?
Slide angle right. Distance not the worry. He's only 30 metres out. Cam Rayner, right foot, right to left curler. And he's missed it. It's a behind. 4 behinds to Brisbane. Gold Coast 1 straight 6 on the SMS. Richard from Geelong texts, I agree with the team that the team's jumpers clash badly. Whenever a pack forms, it reminds me of when I tried to mix banana ice cream with strawberry ice cream and ended up with a red-yellow mess. But with you, Richard.
Oh, good work, Richard. Yeah, that's a good text, that one. It is a bit of a red-yellow mess and a little slippery out there with this light rain falling.
And they've got yellow numbers as well. Like, that's the other thing. Make them white or something.
It is Witts gets it down there. Butterick tackled off it by Will Ashcroft. It could have been illegal. The ball spills out and it's going to be underneath a pack of players. The last one to get up was Ainsworth. In fact, it was Connor Butterick. Now the ball thrown up, tapped into the hands of Will Ashcroft. He puts it into the path of Darcy Gardner. Crowd wanted a free kick. It was an illegal spoil. Joel Jeffrey, the offender, so it will be Darcy Gardner.
That's his second, Joel, in a couple of minutes.
He's standing the mark where the arc meets the boundary, and Darcy Gardner at left half forward pops it up to the top of the square. McInerney gets it down. Suns have got numbers. Ball spills to Noble. Noble got it to Will Powell. Good handball out to the right to Noah Anderson. Kicks it to the outer wing. Good contest. Harris Andrews fisted forward. Front and square. Dunkley gave it to Neil by hand. He tried to get Fletcher. Missed him. Bailey Humphrey came in. His handball cut off by Neil. Neil inside 50. And it's a juggling effort from Berry. Put down. Picked up there by Noah Anderson on the arc. He launches a torpedo beyond centre wing.
2-on-2 contest. Payne's knuckle goes out the back. First to meet it is Walter of Gold Coast. He's 70 out. Payne followed up well. Andrews helps there as well. Walter's under pressure and he hands over the hand pass. Zorko there to mop it up. Chip pass marked by Ainsworth. And the Lions get out of that one. Ainsworth has it at left half back. Yeah. Well,
was that him that did that? Or
yeah,
was
well, he fisted it and it sort of skimmed off his knuckles because of the dew and he followed up.
Yes.
Acker.
Silly technique in the wet.
Kick to the wing. Berry hasn't got the ball. No free kick. Ashcroft. That was Levi going through. Hand passes to half forward but turned over. Anderson picks up for the Suns. Hands it to Noble. Hands it to Rioli. Defensive hand pass to create space. Back to the pocket. Collins is there and he calmly slots a pass to Noble. Noble marks at right half back for Gold Coast. The Suns 1 straight 6. The Lions 4 behinds.
What does it mean when you're in blue on this screen here? Does that mean you got off? Blood rule.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, they're off.
Weller and Day at the moment on the wing. Flanders off the pack. Roves. He kicks Gold Coast into attack again. King out the back. Got a nudge on Payne. Payne spoiled it anyway. And then Walter comes through and is tackled immediately. Ball up at full forward for Gold Coast.
They're really trying to play King really deep to make Harris Andrews, who's going to the young tall forwards, but he can't drop off because they're too far away. So you get a lot of one-on-one contest, King and Payne.
Umpire throws it up right forward pocket for the Suns. Off hands, it's Ainsworth. His kick ricocheted off a Suns shin, came back to Wilmot. He kicks it to half back, but it's cut off there by Sam Flanders in a good contest against Cam Rayner. So it's the Gold Coast at their right half forward, Stanley Street side of the ground. Flanders pops it up, dangerous spot. Witt's front position, fisted away from him at ground level. Jasper Fletcher picks it up, hurls it towards the outer side. Once again, off hands it's Sam Flanders at right half forward for the Suns. Puts it to the dangerous area. Once again off hands. Picked up by Will Graham. Tackled by Jasper Fletcher. Got the handball away. Rao ducked his head. Umpire says no. Held to him. The crowd wanted holding the ball. It will be a ball up in the right forward pocket for the Suns. They're pressing.
And the rain's getting just a little heavier. So this sold out crowd having to brave the elements for Q Clash 28. Ball up. Deep in attack for Gold Coast. No one really emerges in from the scrap there. Bailey Humphrey's underneath it, but he's locked up.
Like it's warm. Not sure my motorbike is going to handle being out there in the rain.
First world problems for Jackson.
Got to go home.
Wits out the back of the pack, hands it to Miller. Can't get a good left boot onto it. Slews off his shin. Up and down and goes 10 metres forward. Humphrey picks up in the wet, hands it to Wits. He's 40 out. He snaps with his left. Snaps near side for a behind. Gold Coast by 4. At 117, the 3 points.
Coming out here quick, aren't they? They want to do this under a minute to go.
So it's Dane Zorko who takes off. 1, 2, 3 bounces. He hits the arc of 50 at right half back. Looks to his right, then sizzles a pass to Charlie Cameron, who's come a long way up the ground, forward to centre wing, Vulture Street side.
First touch for Charlie.
He's not been exactly setting the world on fire in 2025, Charlie Cameron, looking for a game tonight. He kicks it to right half forward. It's fisted forward by Darcy Gardner. Nicely roved there by It was Connor McKenna, got the handball away, gives it to Charlie Cameron. He kicks it around the corner. Once again, Mac Andrew. He made his way to the front, then he played on. He was slung by Eric Hickwood, holding the ball. It's a free kick to the Lions. He had that defensive mark, and he had him on toast, but he decided to play on with Hipwood in close pursuit. So Hipwood is 60 from goal at left half forward. And it's a bit going on behind the play too. Zorko v Walter. Kick to the top of the square. Off hands, front and square. Neal. His handball cut off by Touk Miller. Miller picks it up, tackled into the ground by Will Ashcroft. And the umpire will come in and ball it up 35 out directly in front. Jess Stewart.
Just an update. Both sides have made their sub. I'm confirming with you for the Lions, but Weller has been subbed off for the Suns. So Jake Rogers is on. I'll give you an injury update soon.
That's right. I saw Day had gone off, and he was just up kicking the ball in. That was a quick change. Conditions, maybe?
Well, Jess is on it. Ball up. Lions deep in attack, but Holman rose for Gold Coast. A desperate tumbler to clear the ball to right half back. Humphrey dives over it. He's jumped on by Berry. He's hatching at Humphrey, holding the ball. Jess.
Sam Day is a hamstring, so I can confirm that. So he's out of the match for the Lions. This happened simultaneously with the Suns, as I mentioned. I'm still trying to get an update.
Yep.
Hammy as well for Weller. So we've had simultaneous hammies in about a minute apart for this one, and it looks like Rioli did come to the bench as well, just not quite, a little bit ginger. So I'll keep an eye on that one when the rain subsides a little bit more, lads.
2 number 14s, 2 hamstrings. And now after the siren,
wet ball. This is a chance.
Jared Berry's got a kick for goal.
Yep.
With a man on the mark 50 metres out. Brisbane hasn't kicked a first quarter goal. We've only had one in the first term. Berry from 55. It's good purchase. It's a review on the hooter. Right to the line and hands everywhere. I suggest. No, it didn't go beyond the goal line.
I thought that was...
hold on. No, it's a 50-metre penalty. Berry's been marched upfield.
Went over the mark.
That's a win.
I think it was.
It makes a goal to an absolute certainty of it.
So now don't worry that it was touched on the line. Berry's got 50 and does kick a goal after the siren in the second instalment of the kick after the siren.
What are the chance? We've had everything this quarter.
And Brisbane lead at quarter time.
Wow, what a quarter.
Lions
ready to go.
1-4-10 to Gold Coast's 1-1-7. Now, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yep, 1-4-10 to 1-1-7. The goal for the Suns was David Swallow, who was the laid in for Ben Long, and then Jared Berry kicking that goal earlier today. Sydney and Hawthorn victors in the Sunday fixtures of round 8. Sydney by 14 points over Greater Western Sydney. 12 goals, 15-87 to GWS's 10-13-73. Hawthorn 65 points to the good of Richmond. Hawks 16-13, 109 to Richmond's 6-8-44. Meanwhile, across town in... sorry, Michael?
Sorry. I was just watching the replay. It looks like Bailey Humphrey was scraping the ground and perhaps even picked up a little bit of dirt or grass and at least gesticulated to throw it towards Berry.
That's why
that's the 50.
You can't do that anymore. You should be able to throw your boot at him.
Magic round earlier today. Bulldogs 38, Titans 18. Penrith, the 4-time reigning champs, they finally flexed. Bottom of the ladder, beat Brisbane 32-8. Second half, 20 minutes to go. Melbourne still 18, lead the Canberra Raiders 12. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
The footy might stop with the final siren, but with ABC AFL, the conversation keeps rolling. Get ABC AFL Daily Podcast with Premiership coach Paul Bruce alongside Corbin Middlemass, Ben Cameron and Poppy Penny.
From walking on thin ice to dancing on the mountaintop.
It's your daily footy conversation. Find it on the ABC Listen app.
It's all about love right now on ABC iView. The hit series Love Me, Love on the Spectrum, Summer Love, and more great titles.
Seriously? I can't stop smiling.
Find them where it's always free, always heartwarming.
Cheers to us.
ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Newland takes it on right half forward, gives back to Noble by hand. From 70, a kick to full forward and an intercept taken by Swallow. He takes the grab for the Suns and will have a shot on goal, the late in from 30 metres out. Kicks from slightly right, 30 metres out. David Swallow, the old-timer, kicks the first for the Suns in Q Clash 28. Brisbane hasn't kicked a first quarter goal. We've only had one in the first term. Berry from 55. It's good purchase. It's a review on the hooter. Right to the line and hands everywhere. I suggest. No, it didn't go beyond the goal line.
I thought that was...
Oh, hold on, no, it's a 50-metre penalty. Berry's been marched upfield.
Went over the mark.
That's a win. I think it was. It
So-
makes that goal to an absolute certainty of it.
So now don't worry that it was touched on the line. Berry's got 50 and does kick a goal after the siren in the second instalment of the kick after the siren.
What a chance. We've had everything this quarter.
And Brisbane lead at quarter time.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
Certainly a low-scoring affair in the first term of Q Clash 28. Nice to have your company on the Sunday night of round 8 on ABC Sport. My name is Quentin Hull. You're welcome to text us on 0437 774 774. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. That number again, 0437 774 774. Brisbane 1-4, Gold Coast 1-1. Looks like the rain's stopping. Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus break down the first half hour of footy.
There's a lot that we can say, but what we want to say is the game plans and how they're working, Matty. If you're out there and you're listening to us, that they're spreading the field on the front half, Gold Coast, and obviously they've got, the deep options. But what I'm noticing, and tell me if I'm wrong, Matty, if you're not seeing the same thing, as the midfield, it gives it midfield space. Doesn't look like there's space, but as the Gold Coast Suns are running forward, that's actually creating almost like a vacuum of area where they can move into, because their opponent in Brisbane, the Bears, are going to go with them. And that's how I think they've been able to free up and get that flow going. If they aren't going quick and deep and try and get you out the back, that's how they're trying to get through opposition defences. Typical Damien Hardwick. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, you're exactly right. The two teams are playing very different. The Suns are trying to isolate all Brisbane's defenders and have a lot of one-on-ones, probably to stop their intercept marking and then their ability to kick mark the ball in their back half. And Brisbane are putting an extra of the stoppages. So Brisbane are winning the inside 50s, the clearances, the contested possession, but the Suns are just sitting outside them and trying to counter-attack off the stoppages at 10 or 15 metres. But
yes,
they aren't able to generate enough inside 50s, but they're normally very good at that because Brisbane's heat and tackle pressure and that stuff has been outstanding. But and Brisbane's defenders have been brilliant. It's been scary at times, but they are winning the one-on-ones. And at the moment, it looks like Brisbane are just trying to get it inside 50 as much as they can, like Sydney last week in the first half, where they had the game under control.
Matt, put your coach's hat on. Already no Morris, already no Lohman. Now Seam Day's out of the line. So if you're Dimmer, how do you isolate that lack of regular structure in the line's forward line?
You've got to try and expose it. What they have to limit is don't allow Brisbane to have 15 inside 50s, because even though they've lost some talent down there, that number keeps going. That's 70 inside 50s.
But they're still trying to get them wide, you see. That's that's working all right if you're Gold Coast.
Get the ball down the other end, Q, and play to their strengths.
Umpire just threw it up in the middle because it's getting a little bit wet off hands. It's picked up by Rao, centre bounce clearance Suns. He lobs it towards half forward and it's cut off there by Wilmot immediately. Puts it to centre half back to find Josh Dunkley. Standing on the arc. He's looking straight up the ground. He can't find anybody in the corridor, so he flares it out to the right and finds Levi Ashcroft. Possession number 10 for him at right half back on the Stanley Street side of the ground, the outer side of the ground as we're looking at it.
The way it's going at the moment, will say I've got the Norm Levi say I got Dad's medal before you.
Well, it's got to be handy.
I don't think he's worried about it just yet.
That's Wilmot shot the handball out. McCluggage inside 50, looking for Hipwood, and enter Sam Collins to ruin everything for Hipwood. Off hands over the boundary line. There'll be a throw in. Jess Stewart's over there.
Yeah, a bit chaotic it was just there. We had a few injuries. Daniel Rioli went off. He got checked around the rib sternum, but he's come back. He is okay for now. But yeah, those dual hammies done about the same time for both players. Lockie Weller gone, Sam Day gone for the Lions too.
Great work, Jess Stewart on the boundary. Throw in, an attacking 50 for Brisbane. McCluggage roves, his kick is back into the chop. Picked up by Graham, tackled fiercely by Will Ashcroft. And the umpire comes in to sort it out.
And I think Brisbane will be happy to play this way, Q. Get it inside 50, stoppages, hold the ball in there and generate their shots that way.
Wits with the tap, but Neil Rose for Brisbane hands it out the back. Levi Ashcroft kicks into the corridor. Back with the flight. Bailey almost marks, can't. Stolen by Bailey. Humphrey of Gold Coast hands it to Graham, hands it to Flanders. Suns run the wing through hands. Give it to Miller. Kick inside 50s. A bit of a worm burner along the deck. Well read by Payne, who picks it up for Brisbane just forward to fullback. Kicks it along the ground. Another stat for Levi Ashcroft. Hands it to Zorko. Zorko hands it to Fletcher. Brisbane one right half back. Fletcher's kicks long and good. Marked by McCluggage. 2 kicks from goal. Right half forward. Plays on. Kicks deep. Andrew flies the pack for Gold Coast to thump it close to the line. Jeffrey Rose to keep it in for the Suns. His kick is straight to Charlie Cameron. Cameron breaks 1, breaks 2. Like he's at Magic Round. Breaking tackles. And the left foot snap. There's a bit of Charlie's sizzle in the Q clash.
What about the song, though? I was here last game and he didn't kick one, and we were so disappointed. Song, I do know the words, Matty Price. I promise.
Charlie Cameron with just his 5th goal of the season. Brisbane 2 goals for 16. Lead Gold Coast 1-1-7.
What a goal. Lux of fortune though. Charlie, opportunity there. Really good. Just getting, slipped out a couple of tackles, but the ability just to get it, grab it, keep his feet and his agility, snap it on the left slipper. You'd be happy with that. Welcome back to the goal-scoring machine that used to be Charlie Cameron.
Excuse me. I had visions of you there, Jake. That was what you used to do.
I used to
weave and break tackles and snap on your left.
He didn't launch a single on like this, though. Lob forward out of the contest for Brisbane out of the centre. Taken by Will Ashcroft. Still inside the centre square. Lobs it inside 50. Mark dropped there by Conor McKenna. He recovered. Handball Hipwood. The ball knocked out of his hands by Touk Miller. Picked up by Will Graham. Hipwood tackles him. Holding the agate. Great tackle, Eric Hipwood, on the much smaller and, I would say stockier Will Graham, who was just about to break free and launch an attack for the Gold Coast Suns. Every Sun just about back inside defensive 50, put to a dangerous spot. Anderson spoils it for the Suns, brings it to ground. Jeffrey flicked it through his legs, picked up by Ashcroft, put it towards Cameron. McAndrew got in front, ball hits the deck. At ground level, Charlie Cameron toes it off the deck. A metre away, gets his second within a minute. Q Country Road.
Let's go again. Oh man, we've waited how many weeks? And there we get 2 in a minute.
3 goals for 22 Brisbane to the Suns 1-1-7. 15 points the margin. Charlie Cameron has got 1 Chopper's medal. He kicked 6 goals. He's one of 4 players to hold that record of 6 goals in the game. So he's off to a flyer. 2 goals already.
What do you say to that, Matty Promise? We said in the, before the game, the preview, that Charlie's too good not to be kicking goals at some stage. Tonight, 2 in a minute. It's just rewarded. He has been playing high up forward and getting up the ground, but
you get the ball in there enough and class prevails, and that's what's happened this year. And their intensity, they are shutting everything down to the Suns. That's brilliant.
I like that he's singing it too.
If you got an alien and said, by the way, look at the MCG last night and look at the Gabba tonight, the sound, the look, they'd say there's no way that this is the same competition.
What is this?
Another clearance for Brisbane. Rush ball inside 50. Archie's tackled by Rioli. Lost it. Play on. Dunkley picks up. His kick smothered. Ricochets to Gardner. Gardner snaps in the pocket and kicks a point. I think the Suns are with the sing-along in the centre bounce. They've lost the last couple while the Chuckle celebration song's been on. Point to Gardner. 16 points to lead to Brisbane.
I reckon this sing-along gets the crowd going and the players going, doesn't it?
It does. They are up and about. They're already up and about. Now they're really up and about.
Got a touch of the English Premier League about that song now as it echoes through the Gabba. It's off hands to Levi Ashcroft. That's possession number 11 to right half forward for Brisbane. Rove there by Touk Miller for the Suns though. Kicks it to the outer wing. Harris Andrews directs it down to ground level. David Swallow. Butterick overruns the ball. Picked up by Harris Andrews. Lightning handball to Will Ashcroft. Forward another 10 metres to McCluggage by hand. Inside 50 now. It's a good contest from Conor McKenna. Brought the ball to ground, but it's an illegal hold against Joel Jeffrey, who's had a couple of vital free kicks against him tonight.
Number
already.
3, I reckon.
And Connor McKenna will have a shot 45 out slightly off centre.
We did Dacos Inc. versus Ashcroft Inc. and we know the Dacos has won that 68 possessions in total to about 30, I think. Will 13, Levi 13. They've got 26 between them. The Ashcroft boys are both tied for joint leading disposals early in the second quarter.
You couldn't make it up. Connor, can he kick? He's dropped 2 sitters. Must be slippery out there. You think he'd like that being from Ireland?
He's a good kick at the football is Connor McKenna, the Irishman, leans back on it. He loved it as soon as he let it go. 4th goal for Brisbane. They extend their lead early in this second quarter, 4-5-29 to 1-1-7. How confusing is that? The Lions sound effect over the top of the Brisbane Bears logo. Now I'm completely confused. 22-point margin, though, in favour of Brisbane. 7 gone in the second quarter.
It's the issue that's killing them. The Suns, when they do win the ball, is Andrews and Payne are just dominating the key forwards, which Walter and Reid, they haven't had great years. They've had moments, and Reid had a moment. Walter was good last week from the third quarter, but Walter's had 1 touch, King nothing, Reid nothing. They are getting dominated by Harris Andrews and Payne, and then is rebounding the ball off the half-back line. It's not even really getting inside 50. They are just immovable at the moment.
And how it's coming in. Just looking at the players, though, the Lions players look so strong on their feet at the moment. They've got second ever, and they're moving. They're so moving, looking so good.
33 disposals to 9 to Brisbane in this quarter, where they've kicked 3-1 to nothing. Centre clearance Suns, but it's a rush to exit from the boot of Flanders and marked at half-back by Wilmot of Brisbane. Kicks wide to left half-back, where McLaughlin marks the early sub in for Sam Day with a hammy. McLaughlin kicks back to Answorth, who marks it at half-back, completes the transfer from left half-back to right half-back. His co-captain's there to take the mark. Harris Andrews, as ever, doesn't seem flustered by what's around him.
Come back again, double switch.
Yep, chips it short to Lester. He's got space to run through centre half-back, and a deep 45 switch to the wing. Rayner the target, Noble spoils. Rayner wins the ricochet of the slippery ball. Runs away from Holman. Runs to about 80 from goal. Wide kick, hoping for Archie. It came off the instep and slid away from Archie, out of play as the rain returns.
Yeah. One thing I reckon they need to change, the Suns, is they're getting back off the mark. They're giving him 5 metres automatically. They've got to get up and stop these. It's too easy, the kicks, particularly when it's wet. Yeah, you're going to be able to spoil them. It's very silly. They will change it at half-time, you'd hope, but they're doing that for no reason at all. It's not working for them.
Throw in across the arc, left half forward for Brisbane. Roved off there by Duke Miller. Dragged off the ball by guess who? It was actually Lockneil. So it'll be a free kick against
on behalf of
Dane Zorko. As Miller, that's a speculating kick. He fled it left and found Anderson, the leading possession winner for the Gold Coast. That was possession number 12 for him. He goes further left to Mac Andrew, and again further left to left half back to Will Powell. So they've transitioned well down the line. Who have we got there?
Graham.
Oh, there's Will Graham. Gee, that is terrible against the red signage as well, isn't it?
I'm with you, Pricey. I'm with you. I'm helping you out.
Hewlin to Will Graham again by hand. They've rumbled this to half forward. Back to Will Graham. Third involvement. He kicks it to the top of the square. Harris Andrews flies at the back of the pack. It's got to be Bailey who gets there first for Brisbane. He's buffeted off the ball at ground level. The Suns have got a chance. Bailey interjects again. Gave it back to McCluggage. His extracting kick is smothered. Picked up by Dan Rioli inside 50. From a very tight angle to the top of the square. King flies. Fisted away. Forward of the ball, it was Zach Bailey. He gave it out to Answorth, tackled in the pocket, and the Suns will hold it up and at least keep the ball inside attacking 50 with every player on the paddock forward of the centre.
10 minutes second term. Brisbane 3-1 to nothing in this quarter. 4-5-29 to Gold Coast's 1-1-7. You're hearing Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Still no clearance from deep in the Suns' right forward pocket. Try again, McCluggage gets his boot to it. Rushes a clearing ball for Brisbane. McKenna can't mark. Picked up by Andrew of the Suns. 2 steps and Big Mac gives it the lot. Beautiful kick from Mac Andrew.
He's happy with that too. Serious, so he should be. What a ripper.
And Mac Andrew has kicked his first goal of the season. Brisbane 4-5-29 to the Suns 2-1-13. And didn't Gold Coast need that? Their first score of the second term comes 11 minutes in.
He just monstered the two fellas. I love his confidence. Like, he's had a dirty 10 minutes, but he just picked that up and just kept on playing with confidence. Didn't even look to lead or kick the ball anywhere. Just, I'm having a shot from 45. And
instinct right there.
Bit of their own medicine back. The ball lived for a couple of minutes down there. Able to repeat inside 50s and able to score. They need to get this centre bounce work out, though. 4-2 this quarter.
Also, McGregor has, it's slippery. It's easy from the stands. That's his third chest mark he's dropped.
So 23 inside 50s to 12. The margin is now 16 points. The Suns win this clearance. It goes to half forward. Couldn't be picked up by Bailey Humphrey. Forward of that contest. Here comes Zach Bailey. Just paddling along in front of himself. Well played in the wet conditions. Handball out to Leicester, to Will Ashcroft, to left half forward. Flying across the contest. Bodie Hewland, the second in the B&F for the Suns last year. He's a good young player. He goes left to Mac Andrew, the goal scorer, and he goes even further to the left to find Sam Collins as the rain gets a little heavier here.
Yeah, it's pretty wet out there. Kicks around the boundary, does Collins, and Rioli takes the mark on the left half-back flank, where the old Brisbane Bears Social Club used to be. Yeah. On that flank, Rioli with a banana 50 metres upfield, and somehow Miller catches it. Great mark too, Miller. Really interesting kick. Rioli follows up, no one on him, receives the hand pass, runs to 60. Rioli chips inside the tack. Fletcher drops the mark, going back with the flight, met by Humphrey of Gold Coast. He rushes it to Ainsworth of the Suns, hands it to Andrew. He'll go again. One step, bang! Oh, just to the left.
Wow.
Mac Andrew just misses to the left.
Well, how is he getting shots on goal? He's supposed to be a defender. You love that if you're Damien Hardwick.
4-5-29 to 2-2-14. Brisbane's lead 15 points, 13 minutes second quarter.
Doesn't that annoy you as a forward too? You've got a backman having two shots on goal. You're like, kick it to me. What's my job? Go back there.
It's even worse when he looks better than some of the forwards kicking the ball as well. As Wilmot comes out of the goal square for Brisbane, kicks it to the outer wing. Hewland for the Suns, fisted it forward. It was rowed by Will Ashcroft, handball to McLuggage, who eventually got it back. Now it comes back to Ainsworth for Brisbane. His handball towards Levi Ashcroft was missed. Over the boundary line in front of the Suns bench, will get a throw in. On the wing, Stanley Street side of the ground. 15-point margin in favour of Brisbane.
Just getting a bit of momentum back here, the Suns, I reckon.
Yeah, then they're still playing 6 forwards, holding 4 really deep. So very unique, but they need to be able to win at the source here to take advantage of that.
Throw in outer side. Ethan Reid got rid of Hipwood a little bit too easy. Through the hands of both, and the ball stuck underneath Jared Berry and Ben Ainsworth. And the umpire will come in and throw it up on the outer wing.
Michael Price and Quentin Hull with you for Q-Clash 28 on ABC Sport. Rowed by Levi Ashcroft, a kick to half forward. Gardner presents, can't mark. Rayner overruns the spillage. 40 metres from Brisbane's goal. Rayner dives in, desperation to try and lock it up. Soapy ball on the deck. Cavalry arrives, ump does too. Ball up.
Yeah, great job because Suns have got the spare because Brisbane has sent a number up, but they get back there and be able to lock the ball in. It's a great effort. Hard way to play, but working for them at the moment.
40 metres from the Lions attacking goal. Give that tap down, out the pack. Jeffrey tries to pick it up for the Suns. He does. Hands it to Powell, hands to Flanders, runs the pocket.
Great pressure.
Chip is to a 2-on-1 against. Holman is in the role of agitator hit there. He just pushed Dunkley in the face. Free kick. Dunkley plays on with a hand pass to Bailey. Runs to 50. Kicks to the pocket, and Cameron takes the mark. Oh, gee. Someone order a bit of gargle for John Denver's green room. He might be busy tonight.
Oh, man, they're going to run out of that song. You never get sick of it.
Left forward pocket. Only 20 metres out for Cameron, who's already kicked 2 goals in this quarter. He's only kicked 4 goals for the season coming into tonight.
Kick it, Charlie. 2
steps, infield, misses, near side. No, Mr. Denver, not right now. You can stay in the green room. Behind to Cameron. 4-6-30, leads 2-2-14, Lions by 16 points.
Looking dangerous though, Cameron.
Suns bring it in fairly quickly. That's a big kick. It just went beyond half back, off the hands of the pack. Well done to Hipwood, who spoiled the ball over the boundary line, and you're going to get a throw in.
I mean, Charlie's half of Mac Andrews' height, but he used his body well there. Luck's a fortune, but he's up and about, Charlie, and he just needed that goal. And here he is. He's going to have a big night if he keeps going.
Well, confidence is a wonderful thing if you could bottle it. Off hands, Hipwood, well done to Berry, who went through traffic, handball to Will Ashcroft. He got the 1-2 back, and a little 9-9 forward was cut off by Dan Rioli. Forced to play on, Kick wasn't the distance. His handball. He had to go back and get it as it fell off hands. He went inboard short of the wing, found Anderson to Will Powell by hand, who kept running. Now Ainsworth, his long kick inside 50. Ben King tried to get rid of Payne. That's very difficult. Off hands, front and square. There's a whistle on play. It's going to be a free kick, and it might go to the youngster in Jed Walter. He might have been held at the base of that pack. It is. It's going to be 25 metres out, more or less directly in front.
He used his body really well. He actually leant back into Harris Andrews to take him off the ball, and Harris panicked then, and I think he grabbed a Guernsey, and easy free kick for the umpire to pay. Good body work by the big man.
So another one from the Palm Beach Currumbin Footy Factory, number 3 in the 2023 draft through the Suns Academy.
Solid man, this boy.
To the boos of the Gabba crowd, 9 goals for the year, Jed Walter. The Suns need it, and he delivers. Shortens the margin to 10 points. The Suns get a couple on the fly. 4-6-30 plays 3-2-20 with 17 gone to the second quarter. ABC Sport on a Sunday night.
I don't know if you can give me a price. Rioli's last 10 minutes, so the second quarter, his touches, but geez, his last 10 minutes, he's given him enormous drive and linked up the play. So started in the back 50 and then got it between the arcs. He's been a key driver the last 10 minutes to get the ball inside 50 for the Suns.
Yeah, and that's a shame that Andrews gave away that free kick, because Payne had done everything right, and he is destroying King. King just cannot get near the ball, so that was unnecessary. A little bit of panic, as you said. Yep. That is a free kick, but they still got to keep the goal, good goal, and that brings them back to just over a goal now, halfway through the quarter.
5 touches for Rioli in this term, Matt.
Yep. He's working. To watch him live, he works that hard, and they like to give him the ball, but he's working hard to get it.
Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis, your experts. Brisbane by 10 points. Centre bounce. Will Ashcroft taps it to the advantage of Rayner. Hand pass to Berry. Hand pass back to the bullseye. Dunkley was running through. Receives and kicks forward, but a great intercept mark taken by Powell of the Suns. Plays on. His kick is half volleyed at the feet of Anderson. City skipper Ratas. Anderson taps it back to Collins. Collins to Powell, who's monstered in a tackle by Gardner. Ricochet to Levi Ashcroft. He kicks on goal from 40 and leaves it out to the right. It's a behind from Levi. Lions by 11 points. Kick in from the Suns, and Jeffrey Marks in the right back pocket.
He's going to play on quickly from just inside the arc. Shorter centre wing. Fletcher was given, I suppose, the prime position with that poor kick, as Matty Primus just said. Off hands, Dunkley scrapes it back inboard to the pack, and Hewland and Dunkley end up peeling themselves off the wet Gabba turf.
Well,
umpire will ball it up very quickly. He throws it up, Acker. It was Witts versus McInerney. Well done, Neil. Gave it to Will Ashcroft, who was tackled into the ground by Witts. The ball fell into the arms of Dunkley. He kicks it forward. Hipwood double grabber on the 50-metre arc in front of Sam Collins. No easy feat. He's at left half forward and 60 from goal.
They're moving, which is what they weren't doing against Collingwood. They're too stagnant. Can Eric go the distance? What I was going to say, this is over this side of the ground, Pricey, and you guys can actually see them.
Exactly right. And, boy, the Suns have set up very well in a web in defence, inside defensive 50. But Hipwood on a very tight angle to the left.
I'd be disappointed if he doesn't put this to the top of the square rather than try and kick to 50 and get it rushed.
And we've seen that a couple of times as Hipwood will let go from about 55. He's launched it, and it's wide and left, and it's lucky to be a behind. Had the distance, but it extends the lead to 12 points. And it's 8:32 to 3:20.
Hold on, it went over the top of the point post.
Really?
So now the inexact science of a goal umpire's call. How is a television camera going to work out whether that would have hit the post?
But we were in a direct line behind Hipwood with that, and that was a foot inside. It has to be.
Well, they're going to the arc.
And who was it, Kevin Shetty or Ron Barassi said, just make the post bigger.
That's going to
be ridiculous, I know, but or put a light. It's night, so
might be dangerous in the breeze if they get them any higher.
That's the point.
Well, here's 30 seconds of our lives we won't get back, people.
You're right, Q. They went like 15 metres above the point post.
And the goal and boundary umpire were in the best position. And this is where I don't think you're going to get a good picture to tell you one way or the other.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, there is insufficient evidence to decide what side of the post the ball went on. Decision on scoreboard.
On the fence.
And now what's the call on field? They're still not sure.
Depends on the conference.
Boundary umpire's talking to goal umpire. Field umpire's holding the footy. I don't think they've decided yet. And now the boundary umpire says out on the full.
Disappointing. That's not the right.
Okay, let's call it out of bounds.
Wow.
Paul, the margin's still 11 points, 21 gone, second term. Controversy.
So Noble plays on and runs around Levi Ashcroft. A long kick towards the wing for the Suns. Walter presents in the pack, can't mark. Zorko roves. Hand pass turned over. Gave it straight to Butterick of the Suns. Hands it in tight to Reed. Hand passes to Miller. Reed got a push in the back. He will get a free kick. It's downfield. So Miller takes it only 10 metres downfield. Quick kick to half forward. Graham's in space. Takes the mark 55 from goal. Will Graham for Gold Coast. Kicks to the top of the square. King's there. Walter's there. They both fly. No mark. Swallow roves. Hands to Walter under pressure. Hands it to Ainsworth out the back. Anderson. Hands to Rioli. Can't evade the clutches of the Bailey tackle and the handball's turned over. Brisbane come clear. Wayner wins it. Hands it to McCluggage. Kick to the wing. Cameron is on tonight. Charlie marks forward to the wing. He's a long way from home. Chips it to the lead of Andrews. Great of Hipwood. Spoiled by Andrew. Gee, you've got yellow and you got red. You got Andrew defending at one end and Andrews at the other end. Mac Andrew has hit that over the boundary line. It's a throw in.
Where are these unique names like Agamemnon and Lepage and Primus?
And that's not to mention the Ainsworth versus the
Ainsworth
as well.
Well, Andrew's been doing it at the other end in attack too.
Yes.
Throw in across right half forward for Brisbane. Rayner tackled off the ball. Should be holding the ball. It is.
How's that holding the ball when he just literally got it and tackled it? It was disposed out of him.
AFL football in 2025, Acker. That's the explanation as Miller puts it to centre half back to find Noble. That's a beautifully weighted kick, Jeffrey. Inside the corridor, inside the centre square. He puts it to right half forward looking for Graham, who sat there and waited for it. And it's going to be a free kick for a chop of the arms. Jasper Fletcher, play on advantage. Butterick to Euland, into the pocket. Flying King and was spoiled. It was Jed Walter, in fact, who got up there, smashed into the ground, ball off both hands anyway, and it goes over the boundary line, left forward pocket for a throw in.
Score update at the Gabba, 23 minutes second term. Brisbane 4, 7:31. Gold Coast 3, 2:20 on ABC Sport. Sam Day and Lockie Weller both subbed out. The two number 14s both with hamstring injuries. McLaughlin and Rogers into the game. Boundary throw in with Brisbane in attack. Rowell's hand pass has been pinched and cleared by Bailey. Gold Coast in attack, should say. Bailey's clearing kick though. Mac Andrew takes the mark. Out on the wing for the Suns.
He's playing well tonight.
He's got Hipwood for his direct opponent at the moment. A very short pass. I tell you who else is having a good game, this guy. Joel Jeffrey. What's he up to?
They're for the 3 free kicks he gave away. But let's not talk about that.
Yeah, takes the mark on the wing. Jeffrey with a long kick into attack off the pack. McInerney does the roving for Brisbane. Toe pokes a clearing ball. Levi Ashcroft gathers. Hands it to Ainsworth. Hand pass turned over. Stolen by Noble. He's tackled. Free kick, player to advantage. Levi Ashcroft takes the advantage.
Downfield.
And then there's a downfield free kick.
What about Mac Andrews' closing speed?
He's
He's playing on Hipwood and then he plays with Carly Cameron.
There's a spot fire away from Hipwood. I better follow the ball. Someone else watch the fight, if it's that at all. Rowell at half forward tackle, but the hand passes to Euland. His hand pass is back to Rioli, who's got it at left half back for the Suns. The dust up has broken up. Price.
Yeah, just Nick Holman doing Nick Holman things and Cam Rayner, I suppose, replying with Cam Rayner things. But it's going to be a Gold Coast free kick on the other side for another infringement. So it's going to be with Ethan Reid. The youngster has the ball just forward of centre wing on the outer side. He's going to kick it inside 50 for the Suns. That's a massive pack. King at the front. Front and square was Flanders. He gave it to Graham in the traffic. Back to Flanders. He goes backwards to Noble. Still inside attacking 50. He's confronted. Beautiful smother off the boot. The crowd very appreciative. The flying Lockneil got across the boot. And this will be a free kick. In fact, it's Josh Dunkley.
I reckon it's those boots. Oh, there was Josh Dunkley. That's
going to be a throw in the left forward pocket regardless for the Gold Coast Suns. They trail by 11.
Ball tossed in. Ruckman share it, batted back towards the boundary line. Will Ashcroft picks up for Brisbane. Clearing kick to the wing, and Jeffrey's in the way again for Gold Coast.
Yeah, they just can't get a winner ahead of the ball, Brisbane at the moment. The Suns defenders totally on top.
Jeffrey chips to Miller, edge of the centre square. Miller chips to Rowell, point of the centre square. Left half forward, plays on. Rowell with a deep entry for the Suns. Flying the pack, Payne tries to crunch it clear. Walter roves though, hands it to Graham. Graham snap misses to the right. It's a behind to the Suns. And a 10-point lead for Brisbane at Lions for 7:31 to Suns 3:21.
Totally on top at the moment, aren't they? The Suns, they're all over them. Brisbane can't slow them down. They're bound to generate a lot of play, pin them in, or they're able to go coast to coast. Just can't quite hit that scoreboard.
Zorko to Fletcher. Fletcher goes to right half back. Traverses the arc, kicks it to the wing, outer wing. Off hands, it was McInerney. Got it down to Darcy Gardner under pressure. He puts one up the chimney. Well done to Noble. Went back with the flight of the ball, read it well and took a courageous mark. Just forward of left half back for the Gold Coast Suns. He wants to steady it down.
Late in the quarter, this is when you want to score and not be scored against.
Noble with the 45 kick was beautiful to Noah Anderson. Inside the corridor they go now, just forward of the bullseyes. It's Flanders. Comes all the way to the commentary wing to find Conor Buderick. He's just forward of the wing now. Kicks it into the pocket. Delightful delivery. That is magnificent and hits Ethan Reid on the chest. 45 out. He flares it left and finds Miller. A little bit of slack marking from Brisbane, and in front of Ainsworth, it's going to be Touk Miller. Will have a shot, 45-degree angle to the right. He'll let it go from 45.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. This is what they do, the Suns and all Damien Hardwick's teams. They will just play on. They'll get a guy in a better position. They won't even think about it. But Touk Miller, let's see how his goal kicking is. He's finally started to kick some goals after being in the midfield most of his career.
Well, if he kicks this one, it'll be a season best return at 9. He's only ever kicked 8 in a year, and he's already got 8.
Here he comes from 45 and lucky to hit foot and kicks it out of bounds on the fall. The margin remains 10 points, 27.5 gone second term.
Sorry, Price.
Oh,
Got the ball. His arch enemy, Dane Zorko.
If you ever want to stand the mark, Q, I reckon you could.
Zorko runs in from the inbound. Oh, McLaughlin flies, tries to mark on the wing, can't. Ball at ground level, Neil Roves. Hand passes to Dunkley, rush kick. McCluggage there, so to Anderson. Anderson spoils but can't rove. Will Ashcroft arrives, hands it back to McCluggage. Anderson kept going, made a tackle, holding the ball. Buderick takes the advantage. Hand pass to an unsuspecting Flanders, each tackle.
Oh, boy.
By Levi Ashcroft holding the ball.
Just got to hold on to the ball here, Brisbane. Suns got numbers back. Just own the ball for a little bit. See if they can score the last minute.
Levi chips it to Neil, who runs the wing. Lockie Neal, the co-captain of the Lions, kicks to Cameron, who protected the drop. Still a good job from Power to fly and get some fist to it. You see it over the boundary line. Left half forward for Brisbane. There's about 100 seconds left in the quarter. Brisbane trailed right before quarter time, before getting a goal on the buzzer. They led by 3 at the break. Now leading by 9 at 4-3-71 to 3-4-22. 4-7-31, sorry.
I reckon that's about 4 times the Gold Coast Suns have played on and from advantage where they didn't have to. Off hands, Touk Miller takes it on the arc. Handball back to his neighbourino in Flanders, who's taken over the boundary line and will get a throw in. I've got to slip it in every now and again.
I like it. You should just keep rolling them out.
So the boundary umpire...
About time you listen to that.
This has been an ugly scrap. Is that a good way to describe this?
Well, the weather's contributed to that. It's probably robbed us of a bit of a shootout, to be honest with you. Across the arc of 50, off hands, it's Noah Anderson. Toes it forward to the contest. Graham versus Ainsworth. Graham, well, let's call it a draw as Touk Miller picks it up. Ainsworth delivers him into the Gabba turf, and we'll get a ball up between centre wing on the Vulture Street side and left half forward for the Suns.
Almost at half-time in Q Clash 28. Brisbane by 9 points. McInerney and Witts tangle again. Ground level, Jared Berry picks up for Brisbane. Hands it to McCluggage. It's a tumbling, hoping entry. Andrew gets a knuckle to it for the Suns. Pushing it towards the boundary line. Archie tries to row, but he runs out of room. Throw in, 40 metres from Brisbane's goal.
Half a minute left. That's what the Suns won't want, is a shot on goal, let alone a goal. They want to shut it down here if they can. This is dangerous territory. They've had a good second half of this quarter, the Suns.
So the ball tossed in. Brisbane in attack. McInerney punches boundary side, but Powell's there to stop anything really happening. Stolen though by Will Ashcroft. Hands it to McCluggage. Has a fumble, picks up, hands it to Archie in front of goal. Snaps but misses. It slewed off his boot. He was 20 metres out, running towards goal, it must be said, but hit the wrong part of the footy, and it slewed rather than curled. And it's gone across the face for a point.
I don't know why they don't just kick drop punts, these guys. He was only 15 metres out, running straight at it.
So the Suns will play on through John Noble. That's a long kick towards the outer wing. Payne promotes it forward, off the ground. Levi Ashcroft, his ball cut off there. It's going to be picked up by Miller at centre half back. He goes left and finds Mac Andrews. Still inside defensive 50 for the Suns. At left half back. He goes to the outer wing, and that is half time. As we say, we've probably been a little robbed because of the weather. It's been a little scrappy and slippery, but it's been a very competitive affair. The Lions / Bears lead by 11 points at half time, 4-8-32 to 3-3-21. Won't take too much effort to go through the goal scorers for Brisbane. It is Connor McKenna with one, Charlie Cameron with a couple, and Jared Berry with the other one. For the Suns, it is Jed Walter, David Swallow, and Mac Andrew with a monster goal to make their three. After the Suns led by 3 points, the Lions led by 3 points at quarter time. They now lead it by 11 at half.
Thank you, Michael. Earlier today, the Swans by 14 points. Probably the best win of the Dean Cox era, albeit early on for Sydney. Greater Western Sydney down by 14. Sydney 12-15-87, GWS 10-13-73, and Hawthorn far too good for Richmond 16-13-109 to Richmond's 6-8-44. In Magic Round earlier today, the NRL's Festival of Footy with all games being played at Lang Park. Canterbury Bankstown flogged Gold Coast 38-18. Penrith 32 defeated the Brisbane Broncos 8, and I'm going to do something funky here. Matt Primus has just realised we've gone to news at half time. He's just realised that there was a note on the screen saying they've gone to Golden Point in the NRL. You've put your phone on, Matt, to see the league across town. What's happening between the Storm and the Raiders?
Raiders went for the golden goal with 30 seconds left in period one, and they missed it, so Storm got it back, so it looks like it's going to...
smothered.
They play two lots of...
Yeah, they play 5 minutes one way, then 5 minutes the other.
They've got to be under second in the 5 minutes.
22 seconds left.
If they get to 90 minutes, then they do share the points.
The Raiders have got the ball, 16 seconds left, so they'll probably...
Go for it, Matt.
Here, second tackle right up the middle, take the yardage, and a penalty.
Penalty to the Raiders. So this will be a penalty goal to give Canberra the win.
They will win it after the hooter.
It's not hard as they kick.
We needed your help across the town.
What do they get paid for this, these boys?
Well, hold on. They got to kick it first. So
they'll kick that. That's a high shot, accidental high shot, but that is a penalty.
Well, that's a big result. Ricky's Raiders.
The Raiders will win that.
They've got top four, are they, Q, Raiders?
They're going. They're sort of a bit like, the northern clubs when it comes to footy media talk. They don't realise, people don't realise how good they are until much later in the year. I reckon the Raiders are going really well. So now I can't throw to the news until we get the confirmation of this kick.
Well, you know how...
Jamal Fogarty, I think, is probably going to be the guy to kick for goal.
He's there. There he is, Jamal. He's just loosening himself up.
Jace?
Well, Jamal, as they do, get down and take forever. Is there not a time limit on this anymore?
Yes, there is. There is a shot clock, Jason.
All right, good.
How long's the shot clock?
30 seconds.
What happened to the old sand days? You have to get the bucket of sand out.
The plastic kicking tees. It's like drop kicks in the AFL, extinct.
And it's unusually too, but straight in front. I mean, what is it, 20 out? If this is not a lay-down misère for a guy of that skill set, not like watching Joey Danaher from 15 out, can I say. This will go straight through and they'll win the match. End of gather round will be the Raiders by 2 points.
It's magic round, Jason, but we get your point. Yep.
Yeah, magic round.
It's a cross-blended moment here.
Oh, look at they're praying. They're praying, some of the Canberra players. There it is. Pulls it. Goes through. That's a win.
Raiders
suck it in.
Raiders finish magic round with a golden point win and a penalty goal to Jamal Fogarty. Called to you by Matt Primus and Jason Hackermanis here
missed that.
On the night of Q Clash 28.
I reckon Matty could have kicked that.
Oh, easy.
Lions 4-8-32, Suns 3-3-21, 0437 774 774 is the number if you want to get in touch. 0437 774 774. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. My head hurts. I need a break. Lions by 11 points. Half-time on Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport. We're back after the news.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The Liberal Party is having to find a new leader after its massive defeat in last night's federal election count. Here's political reporter Evelyn Manfield.
The latest figures show Labor on 86 seats, the LNP on 39 and the crossbench 11 strong, with 14 seats still in doubt. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has spent the day in his Sydney electorate of Grayndler celebrating his victory and significantly boosting Labor's majority. The Liberal Party will now begin soul-searching after losing leader Peter Dutton and shadow ministers Michael Sukkar and David Coleman. Among the frontrunners for the party's leadership are Angus Taylor, Susan Lee, Dan Tehan and Andrew Hastie. A meeting to decide a new leader will take place once more seats are settled.
The new Labor member for the Queensland seat of Dixon, Ailey France, says her election victory is still sinking in. The single mother has run for the seat on 3 occasions, previously losing to former opposition leader Peter Dutton. Ms France says she's looking forward to representing all members of her community.
I feel really grateful that I can give something back to them, that I can work for them every single day. My door will always be open, and I'm still feeling really humbled by the experience. I actually thought it would be a lot closer than it was.
The re-elected independent MP for the WA seat of Curtin says the Liberals failed to learn from mistakes made in the 2022 election. Kate Chaney has retained the previously blue ribbon seat over her Liberal challenger Tom White, who conceded this morning. Ms Chaney says that the outcome has reinforced the messaging from the last federal election.
The 2022 election sent a message to the Liberal Party that they were moving too far to the right and away from moderate voters in places like Curtin. And I really hope that the Liberal Party spends less time thinking about attacking and point scoring and more time thinking about what the country actually needs.
All sitting independent federal MPs appear set to retain their seats following yesterday's federal election. 2 new independents, Nicolette Buller in Bradfield in Sydney's northern suburbs and Jessie Price in Bean in the ACT, are also both ahead in counting in their seats, which remain too close to call. However, with Labor holding a decisive majority, independent for Warringah on Sydney's lower North Shore and northern beaches, Zali Steggall, was asked earlier if independents and crossbenchers will now have less clout.
I dispute that because I've been in Parliament for 2 terms now. I've been under a majority coalition government and a majority Labor government. And each time we have been able to work collaboratively with the government of the day, push the agenda. I've committed to be a champion for climate action and integrity, and we are moving those things.
Salmon Tasmania says the landslide Labor election victory is an endorsement of the salmon industry by Tasmanians. In the lead-up to the election, the Prime Minister took action to protect salmon farming operations on the state's west coast, despite high-profile opposition from anti-salmon campaigners. Yesterday, Labor picked up the northwest seat of Braddon, which encompasses the controversial Macquarie Harbour salmon industry. Salmon Tasmania CEO Luke Martin says workers and communities will take heart from the election result.
The result in Braddon, Van Urquhart, who effectively became the face of the Macquarie Harbour campaign, shows that the vast majority of Tasmanians still think there's a balance between environmental sustainability but also supporting sustainable industries.
Nationals MP and former Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Kath Adams has more.
He's had what could be described as a colourful career in the federal parliament, but Barnaby Joyce was not getting carried away as he celebrated victory in his northern New South Wales seat of New England this weekend. What many of his supporters didn't know was that he had recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. The diagnosis came after his GP recommended a precautionary blood test. Mr Joyce has urged other men to take heed and be tested themselves. He's due to undergo surgery tomorrow.
Romanians have begun voting in a crucial presidential election rerun after last November's annulled vote plunged the European Union and NATO member country into its worst political crisis in decades. Romania's political landscape was shaken when a court voided the previous election in which a far-right outsider topped the first round following allegations of electoral violations and Russian interference, which Moscow denied. 11 candidates are vying for the presidency this time, and a runoff vote is expected later this month. And Melbourne Victory has had a 1-1 draw at home against the Newcastle Jets in the last game of the A-League men's soccer season. This is ABC News.
The footy might stop with the final siren, but with ABC AFL, the conversation keeps rolling. Get ABC AFL Daily Podcast with Premiership coach Paul Roos alongside Corbin Middlemass, Ben Cameron and Poppy Penny.
From walking on thin ice to dancing on the mountaintop.
It's your daily footy conversation. Find it on the ABC Listen app.
The Exxon Valdez supertanker.
Salman Rushdie's The Satanic
People's Liberation Army have
Step back to the 80s for the end of an era.
I am excited.
Season 3 of The Newsreader, Sunday nights on ABC TV and streaming on ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Jeffrey Rhodes to keep it in for the Suns. His kick is straight to Charlie Cameron. Cameron breaks one, breaks two, like he's at Magic Round. Breaking tackles. And the left foot snap is a bit of Charlie's sizzle in the Q clash.
Picked up by Ashcroft, put it towards Cameron. McAndrew got in front, ball hits the deck. At ground level, Charlie Cameron toes it off the deck. A metre away, gets his second within a minute. Q Country Road.
Oh man, we've waited how many weeks? There we get two in a minute.
He's a good kick at the football is Conor McKenna, the Irishman, leans back on it. He loved it as soon as he let it go. Fourth goal for Brisbane. They extend their lead early in this second quarter.
Try again, McCluggage gets his boot to it. Rushes a clearing ball for Brisbane. McKenna can't mark. Picked up by Andrew of the Suns. 2 steps and Big Mac gives it the lot. Beautiful kick from Mac Andrew.
To the boos of the Gabba crowd. 9 goals for the year, Jed Walter. The Suns need it and he delivers. Shortens the margin to 10 points. The Suns get a couple on the fly.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
It's the last game of round 8. It's Q Clash 28 on ABC Sport. My name is Quentin Hull. Back at the Gabba. The rain has stopped for the time being. It's been a scrappy old, slippery old derby to this point. Brisbane leading by 3 points at quarter time and kicking 3 goals to 2 in the second quarter to lead at half time in a low scoring affair by just the 11 points. Lions 4 goals 8-32 to the Suns 3-3-21. Some great messages coming in. If you want to get in touch, the SMS number is 0437 774 774. John texts, as a Queenslander in Hong Kong, I'm supporting the Lions and the Suns. I'm hoping for a draw. Good on you, John.
I thought it might be a draw after that fiasco down there that was a point that ended up being out of bounds.
Lee from Glenorchy likes you, Matty Primus. He says, Matt Primus was not the worst kick going round. Great calling under duress conditions.
Yeah, it was a good kick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are we
Lee.
comparing him to, what, Manson or?
James Manson from Collingwood.
It's Manson, that's him.
Yes.
Or what about Dunkley's dad?
Oh,
Dunkley, yeah.
Don't funk with the dunk, Andrew.
Yeah.
The SCG members used to shiver when Andrew got the ball in the back pocket. We love you, Andrew. What a great player he was. And there is a bit of similar gait as to the way that Josh actually kicks.
Yeah. Just a bit.
You can see a little of his dad in it, but Josh has got a better hit rate than Andrew. I'm sure he won't mind.
Thank goodness, I think.
Us saying that. Speaking of which, it's a reminder. The Swans had a win today of the Giants. If you missed that, 14 points the win for Sydney over Greater Western Sydney. Hawthorn by 65 over Richmond. And a few of the texts here. Ben King has 0 disposals. How do you get him into the game? Texts Simon from Adelaide. Yeah, he hasn't got a stat. Good text, Simon. I'll get to the lads to that in a moment. And there was another one here about the sort of the retro style of the Bears. Someone that you know well, Matty Primus. There was a text, now I'll just find it, asking about the history of Mark Williams, saying, didn't Mark Williams used to coach the Brisbane, the captain the Brisbane Bears? Mm-hmm. And the answer is yes. That was a text from South Australia. I just haven't got I've lost it at the moment, but
it'll come back.
Yeah.
Come back to you.
So indeed, thank you for that text, 043. Here it is. Wayne from Elizabeth in South Australia. Is my memory correct that Port Adelaide legend, Collingwood captain Mark Williams also captained the Brisbane Bears? Correct.
Yep, 1987 to 1990, 66 games.
There you go.
What a part of the town Elizabeth is too.
Jimmy Barnes.
Elizabeth.
All I hear from Queenslanders who in AFL terms are mostly ex-Victorians is how great the weather is there. Yet every game I watch is slippery with biblical rain. Signed, Western Australia.
Yes.
A pseudonym.
Yes.
Speaking
But
for the entire state.
that's coming up for you guys. And they always rain in the winter anyway, so enjoy the dry weather.
Marcus in South Melbourne. I turned on the TV and saw the colours, heard John Denver and suddenly thought I was back in Brisbane in the Navy in 1980 in the middle of the disco era.
Oh,
that's a good
wow.
one.
It's a fair call.
In the 80s.
Yep.
I was a kid.
Oh, and Richard from Geelong. He's devastated that I missed a golden opportunity in commentary when Cameron gathered the ball on the wing. Q said he's a long way from home, where was that he needs to take a country road. No, we're not going that corny.
Okay. That's not bad.
That's not bad. I didn't mind that.
We can workshop that.
Q and Price will put that in there. They'll bring that out.
I'll ring you during the week. You two, I can imagine it. All right, let's do this one.
What about the game? I find these games really hard to get a read on when it's scrappy and around the ball, but you guys, you know it. You've played in games like this. You coach games like this. What are you seeing? Enlighten us.
Well, I've seen two different styles of play. Brisbane, the first quarter and the first probably 10 minutes, there was a bit of contested clearance dominance, get the ball inside 50. Didn't look like they were going to score with a easy forward winner, but just have a lot of repeats and find a way through pressure and a bit of craft through Cameron and kick some goals. But, geez, that's a hard way to play when you can't flow the ball and get it moving. And then the Suns were able to get on top. Rioli was able to get some Noble. They were able to give them a lot of drive. They won the contested ball clearances that quarter and then able to get the ball down there. And then they were able to lock it in, or they were able to move the ball really freely. But they couldn't quite hit the scoreboard because their key tools aren't doing too much. But I think Tim he looked frustrated. They went to him a few times on the TV and it was like, hey, we're nearly getting a game plan going, but we're not quite there. So the good thing is they were able to answer back, because it looked like it was getting ugly there the first 10 minutes of the second quarter. But they answered back and were able to arm wrestle the game back in their direction. Not on the scoreboard, but definitely in control of the game.
Numbers, Will Ashcroft 21 leads all comers for disposals 1. McCluggage 20, Levi Ashcroft 18. Tell you what, the family's making a case to keep the medal at home tonight, aren't they? Dunkley 13, Neil 12. For the Suns, Tuke Miller, who's won 4 Marcus Ashcroft medals. He's got 19 disposals. Anderson 16, Flanders 14, Noble 14, Jeffrey 13, and I'll add Rioli 12 in that group. Noble, Jeffrey, Rioli. We've talked about Noble and Rioli across half-back, but hasn't Jeffrey stood up in that
Jeffrey's
regard?
has been very good. The 3 free kicks probably go against him, but he'll come back. And then Mac Andrews, is having a stunning game down back.
Yeah, he's had 10 disposals, 8 marks. He's had more marks than anyone on the ground, Mac Andrew.
And they're generating him as a spare a lot when Brisbane send a number up. So it's virtually like both backlines are on top and both midfields are even at the moment. So it's, if anyone in the forward line, both teams, can they put their hand up and find some winners there? Charlie had his little period there, but none of them have really been able to dominate the game.
And the change in the conditions too. That's not that easy. And good players do play well in the wet, but that's the adaptability of your team. The game plan is that both teams have does work. It's just who can be cleaner, who can then take the opportunities. If you're a Brisbane fan, they've kicked 8 points out of their 12 shots. So for the Suns, they just keep hanging around.
And if you weren't with us earlier on, both number 14s were subbed out with hamstring injuries in the space of a couple of minutes. A bizarre nuance. Sam Day against his old team, he's out, and Will McLaughlin subbed in for Brisbane, and Lockie Weller subbed out with a hamstring injury. I hope that's got nothing to do with his knees. We know that he's had issues with his knees, and sometimes those soft tissue injuries can part and parcel of life after knee injuries, can't they?
If he has a hamstring graft, issues.
So come from a weak hamstring or actually not a strong enough glute. You just never know. It's not one you want because you lose confidence.
So Jakey Rogers is into the game for Gold Coast. The rain has cleared for now. 11 points to the lead for Brisbane. The Lions looking to go 7-1, while Gold Coast, 5-1, but have they won the respect of the competition? Probably not just yet, under the nature of a few of their victories being against some of the more lowly placed clubs, even though they've got scalps over the likes of Adelaide and Sydney, albeit at home. But there will be not a bigger scalp for Damien Hardwick's Suns than beating the Lions here at the Gabba tonight. And you throw into the mix that of the last 12 derbies between the South East Queensland rivals, Brisbane has won 11 of them. It's the last game of round 8. You're hearing it on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull, Michael Price, Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus in the box. Jess Stewart to keep you updated from the boundary, and you can continue to get in touch on 0437 774 774. That's 0437 774 774. And as much as everyone may have liked the concept and the Lions are counting the merchandise money pricey, we've got another half of trying to work out yellow versus red with yellow numbers.
You need 10 on those binoculars, fellas.
Oh, I tell you what, even with binoculars, it gets a little glary and hard to read, Acker, but we're battling through. So are the Suns and the Bears. As Witts gets it down into Zach Bailey, explodes with pace, handball to the left and gives it to Zorko. He kicks it to left half forward, well read by Joel Jeffrey, who floated back in front of the youngster in McLaughlin and takes a good defensive mark. At right half-back, he's standing on the arc where it meets the boundary now. Sells the big dummy to the right and plays on. Runs off another 10 metres, kicks it long beyond centre wing. Harris Andrews gets to the front of the pack, fists it towards the boundary line. Will Graham picks it up for the Suns. He's tackled into the deck by Froggy Lester. They tangle a little bit as the boundary umpire comes over and will hurl it between the wing on the outer side and right half forward.
It'll be interesting to see what he does with his big forwards at the moment, Damien Hardwick. He's still got King deep. He hasn't touched the ball, and he's just going to need him to get in the game.
Ball thrown in. McInerney gets a handle, ricochets to Neal, rushes a kick from half-back to half-forward. Rayner presents, takes the mark, plays on quickly. A kick and a half from goal. Deep entry to a 2-on-2 in the pocket. Hewland there, though, with a double-knuckle spoil.
There's a free kick there.
That's unlucky. Mac.
It's a Gold Coast free kick against Connor McKenna.
No, it's actually against Eric. Eric had him. They were in a bit of a tangle.
Okay, McKenna's standing the mark. And Andrew, he has had a good game, hasn't he?
Very good.
In the right back pocket, he runs along the boundary paint. Long exiting kick to the outer wing. Oh, that's a Leicester flying mark. I had to double check myself. A frog flying in the wet. Leicester takes the mark with sticky paws. Forward of the wing, kicks Brisbane back into attack. Massive pack. Out the back, it's Andrew. It's a whistle. Oh, they paid that a mark.
Absolutely.
Oh, I think it ricocheted off another Sun's chest into Andrew's breadbasket, but nonetheless, Mac's been paid the mark.
Well, the umpires couldn't distinguish with the red jumpers either. He touched it twice. He gave it to Hewland. Hewland launches a long kick. Bailey Humphrey at the back of the pack recovers nicely. He receives it off Took Miller. He goes back towards the corridor, runs his full distance, and that's a massive drop punt as delivered by Bailey Humphrey inside 50. Harris Andrews, even with Jed Walter following the flight of the ball, kept his eyes on it and took a double grabbing chest mark. He flares it to the right to Wilmot and further to the right now to Jack Payne. He kicks it to centre wing and over the head of Archie. Well read by Sam Collins. The handball inboard to Noah Anderson. He launches it long and once again Harris Andrews could get the free kick and should as Jed Walter attacked him from the front, and that was an awful kick in there for the Suns.
Yeah, just poor by Jed then. Once the ball went out, he had to get back as a forward and lengthen to give a target to. He just stayed up the ground. Harris Andrews, read that all day.
Matt Primus with you on ABC Sport. Berry receives a short pass in the pocket, marks and chips it to Answorth, marks and chips it to Leicester. And here's the Lions chip through half-back. Wilmot the next part in the chain on halfway. Hands it to Berry. Now the kick inside 50. Great mark, Archie. Back with the flight. The rain's gone, and for the first time tonight we've seen the Teppanyaki Lions slice you to bits through half-back.
You're right. First time.
It was open to that little handball receive that they want to get on that 45. And then Archie, he had a look. He knew he had to go. Hold down Mac Andrews there and just held him out there, Charlie. So let's see. These are the guys that need to kick the goals because that's their job.
Former Sun for the Lions in the Bears strip. Callum Archie kicks the Q close goal. Good finish too. Launched from 45, slight angle to the left, and the Lions are out to a 17-point lead early in the third quarter. Brisbane 5-8-38, Gold Coast 3-3-21. Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis.
Yeah, Denver will be disappointed with their first two inside 50s. Humphreys had to keep driving his legs and go in deep. He went back inboard and then just blasted away. Harris Andrews marked the ball in their second one again. They had to show a bit of composure, just blasted the ball again. I'm sure they would have spoken about we can't do that against Brisbane's backs, especially Harris Andrews. And then, as you call, Q, first time tonight we were able to see some uncontested marks, but then some drive off that through the middle of the ground, and find an easier inside 50 rather than just blasting away and getting goals from a stoppage or a scrum.
That was pure, beautiful football too. Opposition couldn't really get near it, but you're leaving the spaces open, and this is what we want to see more of. It's pretty much going to be dry like this for the rest of the half, so I'm looking forward to this half.
So the umpire throws it up in the middle. Lockneil misses it off hands, picked up there by Graham. Back to Anderson, tackled into the ground. The crowd weren't holding the ball, they get it. Cam Rayner with the strong tackle.
Great tackle.
Just adjacent to the centre circles. He's looking for a runner. Zorko followed there by Ainsworth, so Rayner launches a long left footer inside 50. Collins at the front of the pack. Floated across with pure strength. Good one grabber, and he goes left to find Noble in the left back pocket.
Such a good mark. That's a bad
the kick from Noble's too wide. Jeffrey was presenting, but Noble missed his target. It bounces and rolls out of play. So what should have been a Jeffrey mark at left half back for the exit is now a boundary throw-in.
Lazy kick from Noble. He does that too often. That little one step, and if it just gets no momentum and tries to be cute, you just can't do that. He's got to get some momentum towards his teammate.
Jason Ackermanis with you on ABC Sport. Witts wins the tap down, but Neil roves the crumb. Ineffective handball, cleaned up by Lester of Brisbane on the wing. Snapped kick around his body, works out. Rayner marks 60 from goal at the edge of the centre square. Starting to inject himself more into the game. Bullet pass to the pocket. Cameron! Brilliant use of the body to nudge Powell away from the drop zone. And Charlie Cameron, a.k.a. Tony Lockett, takes the mark.
That's a big call.
Well, I'm trying to put the word pictures in the style of the mark, Acker.
That was just amazing use of the body. Charlie's not renowned for that. Can he kick this one, though?
Like on his left.
Oh, no good. But he's got the energy.
2 steps infield. Left foot snaps pure. And John Denver will sing for a third time tonight.
Here we go.
Brisbane 6 goals, 8:44. Gold Coast 3-3-21. 6 minutes played. Third term on ABC Sport. And the reason why I went with that, we don't see Charlie Cameron outbody too many that way. Yep. It was a hyperbolic way to describe the way that he did a great job to use his body to protect the drop zone and take a chest mark.
And strength and smarts. I mean, we'd like to see Charlie do more of that. And usually he's got a defender that's all over him, Charlie. So to have that little bit of space and freedom as he goes to the bench, gets the low 5 from the coach, Chris Fagan, he'd be happy with that. 4
goals so far this season coming into tonight. 3 goals so far.
You cannot keep Charlie down forever. He's too good a player. It's great to see him get some reward for effort.
As the crowd do it a cappella, as the music fades out, umpire throws it up. Witts promotes it forward by hand. Will Ashcroft explodes onto it. Handball to Dunkley, back to Ashcroft. He has to hack it off the deck as it was delivered around his ankles. Now it's cut off there by Dan Rioli at right half back. Shows some pace, a long kick over centre wing. Good contest between the veteran Froggy Lester and the youngster in Bailey Humphrey. Lester wins out, fists it over the boundary line for a throw in.
It's a momentum game, and last quarter they got those couple of real quick ones, Brisbane, and then the Suns got back in with their momentum, and this is the game they're playing, so it's who can hold their nerve.
Only
kicking those goals.
13 points the margin now in favour of Brisbane. The throw-in happens on the outer side, fisted forward. It's going to be a contest against the boundary line. Dunkley up and down the chimney. It lands on centre wing outer side and taken by Bodie Hewlin.
Good grab too, good use of the body. Cam Rayner just got stuck looking at the ball instead of, looking at the man instead of the ball.
Hewlin plays on. Long right foot drop punt from centre wing to a half forward. Big fly from Walter, crashes the pack, can't mark. Picked up by Humphrey of the Suns, rush, kick to full forward. King's out the back, takes the mark. Just was able to nudge Payne under the flight. Such was the deep nature of the entry. And this is the first touch that Ben King's had in the game. And we're early in the third quarter. It's a chest mark from point blank range. He'll kick a goal, and a much needed one at that.
You haven't touched the ball all game, 1 metre out. What a kick though.
Brisbane fans get on his back, but King kicks the goal. A pretty important first contribution of the night for one of the Coleman medal front runners. Ben King now has 24 goals for the season, and Gold Coast trimmed that margin to 17 points. Lions 6-8-44, Suns 4-3-27.
Just the win from Bodie Hewlin, that's underappreciated. To beat Cam Rayner in a one-on-one, he's amazing because he doesn't get beaten one-on-one much. It was a quick kick, just a one-on-one, used his body brilliantly well. then just able to lock the ball in their front half. A nice crumb. And unfortunately, in that occasion, first time Payne probably just got caught in front a little bit. And good start for King. He'll monkey off the back.
What a kick in, though. You don't like it that deep if you're a coach, but if you're a forward and you've got that position,
happy days.
That's a gift.
So let's hope the rain stays away for the rest of the evening. We'll get this entertaining game going off hands. It's a great battle between Matt Rowell and Josh Dunkley. It's a free kick to Rowell, though, as Dunkley gets into Rowell's back. Just adjacent to the centre circles, Hewland goes for the handball receive and a long kick towards the goal square. King at the back. It's a crowded forward 50, though, picked up by Levi Ashcroft. His handball misses Jasper Fletcher, who takes it over the boundary line around his ankles, and will be a throw in. It's about 30 metres from the goal.
And that's what you've got to stop with your Brisbane. Handball receives to runners with skill to go long. That's what breaks your game open. That's what gets the defence under pressure. Brisbane need to stop those.
Throw in left forward pocket for the Suns. Witts gets it down. It's taken there by the Lions, though, in favour of Neil. Kalachi went for the double grabber, promoted it forward. It was taken by Rowell. Rowell tackled by Lockneil, and 55 out from the Suns' goal. There'll be another ball up.
Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull, Michael Price, Jason Ackermanis, Matt Primus and Jess Stewart with you. Witts knuckles the ball towards the boundary from the stoppage. Rolls close to the line. Anderson trying to battle to keep it in with Neil. Neither wins out. Boundary's over. And the ball's over at the boundary. And a throw-in will take place. Brisbane by 3 points at quarter time, by 11 points at half time. Currently a 17-point lead to the Lions, who have kicked 2 goals to 1 in the 11 minutes of this third term. Boundary throw-in. Again, Witts taps down. Neil roves, though, for Brisbane. Hand pass to Dunkley. Rush clearance from right half-back to a 2-on-2 on the wing. Good spoil again from Hewland. He's having a good game. Ball's out of play.
Here's Lockie Neal then. That was just an amazing first possession clearance.
Just clean.
Oh, his body work is unbelievable.
Body work, clean.
Yep.
You love your players to be clean. And when they are, because your teammates run for you to be clean.
Yep.
They don't run for you to be fumbly, and you get hurt if you fumble.
It's Brisbane by 17 points, 11 and a half gone third term. ABC Sport on a Sunday night. Slap forward there by Witts, roved by Anderson. Handball off to Holman, onto the left foot to left half forward. Doubling back and following the ball with experience was David Swallow. Takes it 55 from goal. Pops a beautiful pass, but intercepted by Harris Andrews with those go-go gadget arms. He handballs it off to Jasper Fletcher, delivers yet another possession to Will Ashcroft, possession number 24 for him at right half back.
Brothers running by, but he ignores him. Probably not for the first time.
Doesn't want to share the chocolates.
Will tips backwards rather to his co-captain.
Going to get it back here.
Harris Andrews takes the mark. Yeah, he didn't want to go there, Matt.
No, he didn't.
Andrews going back to the former captain, Zorko, forward of full back. Won both Marcus Ashcroft medals last year, Zorko. Long kick looking for Leicester at half-back, spoiled away by the fist of Humphrey, out of play. Yes. Dane Zorko, among everything that he'd done, leading goal kicker, multiple best and fairest, he'd never won a Marcus Ashcroft medal, and he's played more Q clashes than any other. This is Q clash number 25 for the Zork, and he won both of those
25.
Choppers medals last year. 25 Q clashes, and this is instalment 28, Jace.
That's got to be a record by a long way, sure.
Dave Swallow's added to that. He's close with being a late inclusion tonight. Rush ball from the Suns to the wing. Collins is there to see it out.
Yeah, Swallows 23rd, so it's very close. They're the top two. In fact, Zorko's 4 years older than David Swallow, and you wouldn't think that the way they've been going.
4 years.
But you remember Dave Swallow had the very opposite entry. He was the number one man that the Suns wanted. Dane Zorko was overlooked year after year. They had access to him and didn't want him, and that's a part of the story of Q Club.
And that keeps an evenly balanced chip on each shoulder for Zorko. Off hands, Neil, and then once again to Will Ashcroft. He tumbles it forward, but it's cut off by Sam Collins. Fearsome character just beyond centre wing. He's just short of it for the Gold Coast Suns in front of the Brisbane bench. As Ackroyd says, looks like he just stepped off his Harley.
The moustache has gone back for a beard too. He's looking very different.
Yes, even more fearsome with the beard. Off hands there. It was taken there by Dunkley. He's wrapped up, and it's going to be a ball up just beyond centre wing. Witts versus McInerney again. Fascinating contest. McInerney slaps it forward. Couple of Suns there. Sam Flanders gets it. Handball back to Collins. Off one step, Collins back down the line. Witts in front position at the back. Jasper Fletcher, if you don't mind, flies over the lot of them and takes a lovely mark.
Short pass to Zorko on defensive 50 left half back. He takes the mark and holds it up.
They've done well here, the Suns. They've really taken away their ability to get multiple uncontested marks, Brisbane.
Sort of go man on man too, so they want to spread the field and take it off to make them defend here, Brisbane.
Chip to Berry, chip to McCluggage. McCluggage marks low down, but he's still only between left half back and the wing, Hugh McCluggage. Brisbane leading by 17 points and they go backwards. McCluggage back to Ainsworth. Ainsworth to Andrews. Andrews to Payne as they horseshoe from left half back towards right half back. Payne now kicks down the wing. Archie presents, overran it with the assistance of a Rioli push in the back. So the umpire says it's a free kick to Dan Rioli, who is faking that he's going to throw the ball to Callum Archie on the wing, and eventually Archie realises that he's got to come forward and pick the ball up himself. If you've just joined us from coverage of Magic Round at Lang Park, great to have you across town at the Gabba for Q Clash 28. Brisbane lead Gold Coast by 17 points as Archie kicks towards half forward. Dunkley takes the mark. We're 15 minutes into the third term. Dunkley kicks into attack and Rogers, Powell is there to punch it away over the boundary line. Yes, those just joining us, Brisbane by 3 points at quarter time, 11 at half time, now leading by 17 points, and that drizzle of across town indeed has been falling here at the Gabba as well, but it's dry for the moment, Michael Price.
Throw in right forward pocket for the Lions and off the hands of Reid. McCluggage kicks it up and down. Will McLaughlin flies, gathers as he reached ground level and tackled into the ground eventually by Sam Flanders for the Suns, and it will be a ball up about 35 out. Crowded forward 50 here for Brisbane. Front position hit taken across. That was slack there by Ethan Reid. Somebody's towed it out of the pack. It was Archie, I think, and it was forward of the free kick, but the umpire called advantage. Archie gets his second goal. 7-8-50 for Brisbane, 4-3-27 for the Suns. Back to that game-high 23-point margin. 16 and a half gone third term. That was quick fire.
That was very quick, and that's just luck's a fortune for Archie. And these goal scorers that they need are stepping up. Free kick there, easy free kick at that ruck contest, straight across the mush there for poor Eric. Play on advantage, Archie in the right spot. They're small forwards, Cameron and then Archie, Matty Primus is making sure they kick them. They've been very dangerous all night. The Suns have their problems with those guys. They've got to get more than 2 or 3 goals each.
Yeah, as I said pre-game, I think Brisbane were the worst in the competition for winning one-on-ones ahead of the ball. Tonight, they're the best for the round so far. So their forwards have come to play, and their stoppage dominance is starting to hurt. 33-16 in favour of Brisbane.
Have the Suns got a riposte? McCluggage with the clearance for the Lions. Kicks inside 50. Collins with a good spore to punch it away from Gardner. Ball on the ground, 50 from goal. Hipwood tumbles over the top without picking up. Collins thumps it along the deck clear. A desperate act from the Suns defender. Rioli swoops and gathers. Wonderful one-handed pick up on the wing. Chips it to half forward. Marked by Walter. He'll turn and play on. Kicks deep to the pocket. King is spoiled by Payne and the ball's over the boundary line. But if you want a thing of beauty for a man of the Rioli family known for dust bowls and suns, how about Dan in the wet and the slop? Oh my word, that was a beautiful thing to watch.
You've got to have skills to do that, and that boy does.
Smooth mover indeed. Throw in left forward pocket for the Suns. They desperately need a goal. Lockie Neal for Brisbane just hacks it out. Now it's going to come back. That smooth mover in Rioli gathers. Oh, did a beautiful arc. Handball to Nick Holman, who wasn't aware it was coming. He got it over to Rogers. Rogers from the boundary lobs it to the goal square and off hands. It was Wilmot for Brisbane who got there and rushed it through for a behind. Now he takes off quickly.
Rogers' first touch for the game.
And the short pass into the left back pocket is marked by Berry. You're right, looking at all of those jumpers out there, when you're on the far side, Mike, you've got to take a moment. They do blend in off the pack. Bailey Robes. He's easy to pick out as he spears a ball from left half back along the deck. Picked up by McKenna in space on the wing. Drives Brisbane into attack. Hipwood bumps Andrew out of the pack. Out the back, Suns have got it. Yuland at half forward. His hand pass stolen by Andrews. Yep, that is Harris up there. Got a hand pass to McKenna from 55. Snaps to full forward. McLaughlin underflew the football. Picked up by Powell in the right back pocket for the Suns. Hands it to Noble. Noble's hand pass to right half back. Taken by Walter, who's a long way from home. Hands it back to Powell. Hands it to Miller under pressure. tackled by Berry, lost it, play on, McCluggage picks up, and he's now pinged for holding the ball by Graham. Free kick to Will Graham, forward of right half back for Gold Coast.
Well, the crowd didn't like that very much, but it was there. Gold Coast free kick, and thank God the advertising's gone to black and white instead of the golden the golden arches across in front of the Suns. There's Rogers now. Rogers explodes away inside 50 through the hands of King at the back of the. There's a free kick. It's going to go to the Suns, and let's see who's it going to go to.
That looks soft to me.
Tuke Miller, is it all?
No, Bailey Humphrey it is. It's going to be the recipient of the free kick. Looks like Noah Ainsworth, the offender. He's standing the mark 30 from goal, just a slight angle to the right.
That is Luxor Fortune. Let's have a look at the replay. I'm not even sure how his goal kicking is, but on a wet night with a wet ball.
Oh, this boy's good, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, he launched one from 70 metres last week. He's kicked 6 goals too for the year. The number 6 draft pick from 2022. Really coming into his own. The crowd hooting here at the Gabba. The Suns need this. Humphrey punches at it, hits the post. That'll answer that. 4-5-29 the Suns, 21 points behind Brisbane, 7-8-52 as the Lions bring it back in.
And again, pretty easy exit beyond defensive 50. Neil takes the mark, and this is the Lions getting no contested possessions to get it almost to halfway. Neil with the chip pass. It's marked by Wilmot. He wants to go short. Lions getting it on their terms in this regard, Matt.
Yeah.
Chip to Bailey, chip to Neil, uncontested to forward of the wing, and now they roll on. Happy to kick to the contest with the deep entry forward. Cameron to grabber. It's paid. Charlie Cameron, where have you been for the first 2 months of the season?
On a country road by the looks of it, because now he's in town. What a jump, what a grab.
He got onto the back of Powell and sort of nursed it onto his pec. Second grab to control. Cameron in the left forward pocket. He's 35 out. Right foot snap. Misses to the near side.
I don't know why they do that. He's better than that. That's too far out to be doing that kick.
He's missed it. 22 points the margin in favour of Brisbane.
Little bit like last night's game. Collingwood are on top, but didn't put the Cats away. Brisbane on top, but they're just not putting them away, allowing them to hang around a little bit.
So the Suns with a chance. Jeffrey in the right back pocket, kicks along to the outer wing, skims off the knuckles of Jared Witts to the back of the pack, beautifully roved by Wilmot for Brisbane. He gave the handball to McCluggage, wheeled around onto his right, then back to his left. He evades everyone, kicks it inside 50 at the back of the pack. It is Dan Rioli again having some kind of game. Handball to sort of Sam Collins, put him under a lot of pressure. He got it to Powell, Powell to Noble to back to Powell. Smothered into the hands of Charlie Cameron. Off a step, he puts it to the top of the goal square. Does it float? McAndrew got there. It's going to be a free kick anyway. Now, is that downfield or McAndrew holding the man in the goal square? McAndrew's arguing with the umpires. He's not happy, the big Mac.
He's unlucky there. They were both heavily engaged.
Free kick
Darcy
to Darcy Gardner, and as McAndrew and Sam Collins hold on the goal line, it was a holding free kick. Gardner from the top of the goal square punches it through, extends Brisbane's lead. It is now 28 points. 8-9-57 to 4-5-29. 23 minutes gone to the third term. This game's had a bit of everything so far this evening, lads.
What about his teammates? They came, all of them, ran to him, Darcy Gardner, to give him a big cuddle and say good work. That's his job. He had to shut down a forward, but could have gone either way. They both had a jumper, but the umpire saw Mac had ball.
Yeah, the big Mac, his presentation of the jumper was actually right in front of the umpire, so he had it nicely stretched.
Well, probably easy. Pricey, that fist in the throat. Probably
that would have been another one as well. I thought that was just.
It's pretty easy to see that bit.
That's Cute Clash is slipping away from the Suns. Who steps up here for Gold Coast?
Well, their mids need to 12 to 6 clearances this quarter. They need to win this ball inside here and give them a look. Their forwards a chance.
Bailey Humphrey, about to get a clearance, but the whistle says Dunkley was held at the centre bounce. So a free kick for Dunkley and for Brisbane. Short pass marked by McCluggage into the square. Hands it to Zorko. Zorko kicks to the pocket. Cameron! Spoiled by Powell. Good clutch at it. Bailey is tackled by Holman. Had it a long time holding the ball. Free kick to Nick Holman in the right back pocket for Gold Coast.
The stoppage dominance OQ is making Gold Coast have to transfer the ball from their back 50 all the way to the forward 50. Too hard to win a game playing like that.
Holman with a long exit over the head of Witts. Cleaned up by McCluggage at half forward for Brisbane. Hands it to Dunkley. Off a step, whacks an entry on the head of Levi Ashcroft. Spoiled away by Rioli. On attacking 50 for Brisbane. Humphrey's got it. He's tackled by Cameron. Just got rid of it in time.
Free kick.
And now the free kick going to the Lions after that. Oh, he was held on to Cameron. Or was it a throw from Humphrey? Nonetheless, it's Cameron's free kick. Man on the mark is 50 metres out. And Zorka's pointing to the sticks and saying, why not have a go?
Here he goes.
No, he's not going to kick for goal. Cameron sets it to the top of the goal square. Mac Andrew with the fist. Goes up in the air. Still to be one inside attack for Brisbane. Noble's over it. Levi Ashcroft is over him. And it's a ball up. That was Will. That was Will that time. Showing good will.
Indeed. With the flowing, blonde, Prince Charming locks. Thrown up. Witts smashes it down. Suns with the ball. Anderson knocked as he kicked it, and that put the kick off out of bounds on the full. Charlie Cameron got there. Boy, it wasn't his kick, it was Answorth, but Charlie claimed it at left half forward on the boundary for Brisbane.
That's what you do. It's the umpire's an extra kick.
Acker knows what that's all about. Kicks it to the top of the square. Hipwood in the front position, spoiled by Andrew. It's Zorko trying to bust through. Talk about magic round. He was trying to get through the forwards, the little fella, and it's going to be balled up 30 metres out.
Nick Holman has played role of agitator, and he ran into Holman then. Good tackle from Holman. Now Rayner tries to do same. Gets it to boot from the stoppage. Kick from the pocket, doesn't have the penetration. Collins is there to fist it away around the boundary line. Graham can't pick up under pressure from Levi Ashcroft, out of bounds for a throw in. Score check at the Gabba, 26 minutes third term. It's Brisbane leading Q Clash 28 by 28 points at 8-9-57 to 4-5-29. Quentin Hull, Michael Price, Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus with you in the box. Jess Stewart on the boundary. From the throw in, McCluggage robes near the pocket for Brisbane. Snaps to the goal, Archie gets to the drop, marks next to the point post. Despite the close attention of Rioli, just got in the front of the contest, as all forwards should do.
They should.
Another win by their forwards, eh? They've been terrific tonight.
And they have been, you said, they couldn't win those one-on-ones tonight.
The torment of one that got away, Kalachi, was pretty much happily traded by Gold Coast up to Brisbane a couple of years ago. And plays the right foot banana kick to a beautiful tune. Great execution from the pocket. 3 goals for Calamachi. Brisbane starting to gap Gold Coast in the Q Clash. The Premiers by 34 points at 9-9-63 to the Suns 4-5-29.
That is class though, and it hasn't been easy. They've had a couple of really tough games. I was down there sitting just in front of where he kicked it last game when they played up here for Easter Thursday. And Kalachi, it's just a game of inches sometimes, Matty Promise. Great grab, and he's decided that's why he wants to kick a goal on the right foot banana. What do you call it? Chanana? What do you guys call it?
Banana.
Banana.
Yeah, beautiful finish.
And they're the guys, they needed to kick goals to step up. You asked who would step up.
Yeah,
they had to step up.
Haven't seen Dimmer as frustrated. The TV keeps going to him, and his belief in where they were heading, they've just been handed an absolute lesson so far tonight.
Game high 34 points now, Brisbane team, as they get away from the middle. Neal, handball to Rayner, long left footer, inside 50. Collins got rid of his man there. In McLaughlin, the youngster was shoved out of the way. Now it's loose on the ground, picked up by Levi Ashcroft. He's pressured off it. Nice work there from Connor Butterick. He kicked it out of bounds on the full. Be a free kick to Tuke Miller in the left back pocket.
That's Acker's pocket, by the way. Have you sent, a patent pending or copyright breach to Cooper Sharman this weekend, Jason?
Yeah, I'm going to have to start charging for that.
St Kilda's ball forward from Leeton doing the Acker celebration.
I actually did one when I played in Leeton.
Okay. Did you really? Okay. Which marks near the wing, hands it to Andrew, turns over the kick to half forward. Rogers the target, but never got near him, and Wilmot marks and is happy to kick 20 metres backwards. To Akalachi, he's doing it both ends of the ground. He's at full back now.
Minute and a half to go, Q.
Yeah, kicks to Payne. Payne marks and chips to Berry. And if you're the opposition, when Brisbane start to control the ball in the half-back zone, That's the alarm bell, isn't it, Matt?
Absolutely, and they've done a good job of it up until this quarter here, but they're just folding back and just far too easy.
Yep, Archie received again as they went out left and now back to right half forward. Hipwood marks, kicks to Levi Ashcroft, and he's marked it. He's happy enough to chip it back to Eric.
Can I just say, while we got Levi, my daughters reckon he looks like that guy in Shrek. You know that?
Oh, Prince Farquaad.
Yeah, Prince, that's him.
It's Farquaad.
That's the same as my daughter.
Oh, two daughters think the same. Well, there you go, that hairdo. You'd be loving that hairdo right now.
That's him, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
That's Levi Ashcroft kicks towards half forward. Big spoil from Bodie Ewell and knuckles it out of play. 30 seconds to three-quarter time. Pricey, it's yours. Brisbane 9-9-63. Gold Coast 4-5-29.
I reckon it's just Prince Charming. I reckon you
Prince Charming, yes.
up there. Farquaad's a little guy.
Yeah, that's
is it?
He's the guy with the big ego. Yes.
Yeah, mate.
I haven't seen Shrek for a while.
Oh, mate, one of my favourites. Absolutely. Just comes off the hands. And Levi Ashcroft, he can't quite pick it up. Towed off the deck there by Dane Zorko. Well done to Bailey Humphrey. Shot a handball away there to Connor Budrick. He was, basically scragged off his kick, and it fell into the arms of Holman in the middle of the ground. They've got to get a move on here, the Suns. Holman plays on long left footer. His target, Walter, did all the body work against Harris Andrews, but then the veteran did beautifully. Smacked it to Will Ashcroft, handball back to Fletcher, and Fletcher later pass out. And that finishes 3/4 of this Q Clash 28. The Lions/Bears, they led by 3 points at quarter time. They led by 11 points at halftime, and they lead by a game-high 34 points at three-quarter time.
Charlie Cameron has kicked 3 of the 9. Callum Archie has kicked 3 of the 9. Single goals to Jared Berry, Connor McKenna and Darcy Gardner, while Gold Coast's 4 have been kicked by Mac Andrew, Jed Walter, Ben King and David Swallow. So that's three-quarter time at the Gabba. Brisbane 9-9-63, Gold Coast 4-5-29. Lions well placed to join Sydney and Hawthorn as the winners on this Sunday of round 8. And just repeating across town, the Magic round in the NRL had a grandstand finish, as called on ABC Sport by Matt Primus while watching his phone near the halftime break here. Jamal Fogarty kicking a Golden Point penalty goal to give Canberra victory over the Storm. The Raiders 20 beat the Storm 18 after earlier today Penrith, the struggling 4-time premiers, spanked the Broncos 32-8. Maybe the Panthers are back. Canterbury Bankstown beat Gold Coast 38-18. So there was always going to be a Queensland winner in Q Clash, but the Queensland teams, the 4 of them, went without a win in Magic round. There's definitely going to be a pineapple winner in this one. Lions lead it by 34 points. It's three-quarter time on Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
The World Test Championship is coming.
He gets connection here, lifts it over the keeper, one bounce for 4.
Australia versus South Africa.
And he nicks it, he's got him again.
Catch every ball on the ABC Listen app.
Why scroll when you can listen on the ABC Listen app? Listen to shows like ABC News Daily,
ABC Sport Daily,
and Conversations. Get on the ABC Listen app today and every day.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Here's the Lions chip through half-back. Wilmot the next part in the chain on halfway. Hands to Berry. Now the kick inside 50. Great mark, Archie. Back with the flight. Formus up for the Lions in the Bears strip. Callum Archie kicks the Q-Clash goal. Good finish too. The Lions are out to a 17-point lead early in the third quarter. Boehner marks 60 from goal at the edge of the centre square. Starting to inject himself more into the game. Bullet pass to the pocket. Cameron! Brilliant use of the body to nudge Powell away from the drop zone. 2 steps in field. Left foot snap Piller. And John Denver will sing for a third time tonight. Picked up by Humphrey of the Suns. Rush kick to full forward. King's out the back. Takes the mark. And this is the first touch that Ben King's had in the game. Brisbane fans get on his back, but King kicks the goal. Pretty important first contribution of the night for one of the Coleman medal front runners.
Into the hands of Charlie Cameron. Off a step, he puts it to the top of the goal square. Does it float? Oh, Mac Andrew got there. It's going to be a free kick anyway. Mac Andrew's arguing with the umpires. He's not happy, the big Mac. Gardner from the top of the goal square punches it through. extends Brisbane's lead.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
Rain stop for the time being at the Gabba. It's been on and off again, but during that term it was generally dry weather football, and Brisbane continued to extend its lead in Q Clash 28. My name's Quentin Hull. Great that you could see it all the way through to the finish line of round 8 here on ABC Sport. Brisbane by 3 points at quarter time, by 11 points at half time, now by 34 points, and on the brink of making it 12 wins out of the last 13 Q Clashes. The Suns just unable to really get themselves into this one. Mark in Adelaide on the SMS, he texts, "Hello Q, what's the estimate of the crowd figure?" Hasn't come through officially. I reckon it's going to be low 30s, which would mean it would be a record. The previous record for a Q Clash is 30,285. That was in the corresponding fixture last year. If you're wondering why this game is being played at this time, it is a public holiday in Queensland tomorrow, so that's part of the reason that the Lions wanted to play this home game against the Suns with a public holiday tomorrow. I know it's basically only this part of the world that has Monday off tomorrow, so we'll let you know, Mark, when that comes through. 0437 774 774 is the number. Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis, a thought or two, and most pertinently, how have Brisbane got this on their terms, Matty?
Well, I listened to Dimmer at half-time get interviewed, and he was talking about they're okay inside, but their shape outside, for our listeners, is he wasn't too concerned about the numbers inside. It was more they were just getting beat in 10, 15 metres outside, and they wanted to fix that up. Well, they got smashed 60-40 in loose ball gets, which is just the ability to work rate outside the bubble, and then they got hammered in clearances 17-4. So he would be filthy, because they would have addressed that at half-time and then come out and just got handed a lesson in inside work and then work rate outside. And, well, the game's probably gone. Yeah, they're going to try and play fast and quick here and take some risks, but that might play into Brisbane's hands. But they were given a lesson in their style of play, and full credit to Brisbane, or the Bears, should we say. Full credit to them.
Bears tonight.
Their midfield was awesome inside, and their forwards just dominated their backs, and Bears' backs too also had control of the forwards for the Suns, even though they didn't have too many opportunities.
I just say they have got way more energy and run and movement tonight, unlike last time they were here.
Michael Price, final turn.
We're back into the middle, off hands. Noah Anderson leading the charge for the Suns. Couldn't quite get his kick away. It spills out wide. Bodie Ulan gives the handball off to Humphrey. Humphrey now kicks it long. Top of the square. King at the back. Couldn't quite take it. Harris Andrews beautifully. He gathered it on the bounce, kicked it long towards the wing, and Joel Jeffrey, who's worked his way back into the game after a few mistakes early, takes a nice mark, wheels around onto his right foot, kicks another one inside 50, and there was no contest. Wilmot just went back with absolutely no contest from the Suns players around, but it was an awful kick. He takes it with his back 30 metres away from his defensive goal.
Short pass to Berry in the right back pocket. He slots a ball around the boundary paint, and Jasper Fletcher takes the mark. Another 20-metre pass upfield, and here it is again. They just pick you to pieces through half-back. Connor McKenna presenting and marking. Or is it Dunkley?
Dunkley.
No, it's just Dunkley out there. Among the yellow and the red.
And
Dunkley chips over the man on the mark to Levi Ashcroft.
And Q, the Suns midfielders and defenders are just laying off, dropping back. It's just crazy, because it's the only way to beat.
It's like training where you just don't want your team to get any contact.
Yeah. Ashcroft long towards half forward, over the knuckles of McInerney, roved by Andrew at half back for the Suns. Kicks to centre half back. Flanders takes the grab. Plays on with a hand pass to Anderson. Hands it on to Andrew. They run the middle of the Gabba. Now Max kick. Wide on the head of Ainsworth. Great spoil by Levi Ashcroft coming back with the flight. And he gets pushed in the back by Rao. Free kick.
Rao's had a dirty night, I reckon, Q. He's only had the 12 touches. He's been kept to it, and 25% kicking efficiency.
Last week he wasn't any good either. He's in a bit of a...
He only had one clearance, which is his go-to. If he's not doing that, he's not going to have much impact on the game.
Ashcroft, as in Levi, gets a 1-2 and chips it forward. Barely the distance to Darcy Gardner. He's just forward of left half back. very crowded up the line, but there's nowhere to go to in the corridor, so he has to go up the line. He's looking towards Hipwood, and he overcooks the kick off hands of Hipwood. I thought that was close to out of bounds on the ball.
That is out on the ball.
I'm not saying anything. After that behind decision, we were right behind. Anyway, it's over the boundary line off hands.
Wow.
It's going to be a throw in just short of left half forward for Brisbane.
Is there Specsavers ads here for the umpires? Just to see consultation this week, fellas?
Jason, that's an editorial policy breach.
Oh, sorry.
A yellow card for you on the 8th. And an optometry company.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
One
that's
of
what you
those.
were trying to say. Leicester from the stoppage. Tumbled kick inside attacking 50. Hipwood runs it out of play.
Lucky we got UQ. Just keep me on board.
Well, that's all right. That's all right,
I'll
Jason.
get hauled in front of management again.
Brisbane by 34 points. Early stages. Final term of Q Clash 28. Written and authorised by Jason Ackerman.
These are not my personal views.
Ball thrown in over the head of the ruckman. Out the back. Oh, Holman's tackled immediately by Gardner and also Dunkley. Holman's tried to play the role a bit of aggressor, but he hasn't had too many other mates.
No mates. You're right there, Q.
Ball tossed up again on attacking 50 for Brisbane. McCluggage has had a huge game. Hand passes to Levi Ashcroft. Got dumped after he kicked it.
Oh, that's the first time I've seen Will Ashcroft get really angry.
Because it was his brother.
His brother got dumped.
And free kick. They actually downfield. They paid it downfield. Can you believe that? Went 3 metres.
And Holman's still having a gob off at Levi Ashcroft.
Nice.
And they've given the free kick to Dunkley. 55 out, kicks to full forward. Archie's out the back. Almost got a boot to it. Rushed through by Powell at the last moment. Lions by 35. A rush behind.
Apologies for that, Q. I saw Will Ashcroft really aggressively go up to Holman, and that was just sort of out of character. He's such a cool, calm customer as Mac Andrew gets pulled down and gets a free kick.
Don't forget you worked up like your blood brother.
Oh, exactly. See your brother get knocked down.
Little brother.
The red mist descends. At the left halfback flank, it is Mac Andrew, long down the line. Through hands, Ben King did well, gathered, handball to Walter. He goes wider to Took Miller, then to the run of Rowell. Rowell hooks it back inside 50, turns it over, kicks down the throat of Dane Zorko, but he plays for Brisbane. He goes straight up the corridor, once again finds Berry. They've got the run. Here's Leicester, straight up the corridor, through the bullseyes, inside 50. Charlie Cameron one-on-one, uses his body well and can't quite gather as he got rid of Will Powell. It's a bit of a tangle. Charlie still going for it, gathered the ball, got the handball back to Archie, but held. That was a great effort from Charlie Cameron in the end. It's going to be a throw in left forward pocket.
Winning the ball 2-on-1 and giving the handball to Archie. He's up and about tonight, Charlie. He's got some energy about him, like his teammates, I suppose.
He's starting to get into the season, isn't he, Jace? He needed a night to just to get going, Cameron. He's kicked 3 goals tonight. Boundary throw in, Brisbane deep in attack. Ricochets around. Will Ashcroft's hand pass to Rayner, dumped in the tackle, lost it. Dump tackle. Not dumped in the tackle, dump tackle. Free kick. Cam Rayner.
It's that aggression.
Yep, and winning the ball inside. You're winning the ball inside, you have a chance to get those free kicks.
Noah Anderson standing the mark.
Yeah, second to the ball tonight. All night it's been a bit too easy. And they needed that pressure at the Suns, but they just haven't had it across the board. There's been 2 or 3 of their players and you show up every week and do that. That's what Dimmer will be upset about.
And a thought for you, Jason and Matt, and we've seen a lot of the Suns. What happens when plan A doesn't work? When that stoppage game is not working, how do they get into the game? I think they're creating it off half-back Rioli and Noble, but it's not. They haven't been good enough for the Premiers. Rayner's lucky to hit his boot with that kick. It slews off the edge, doesn't make the distance. Pitches near it goes off hands of a pack near the point post and out of play. What do you think?
Boots. It's those boots, I'm telling you. They're synthetic. They're nothing like they should be. They should be kangaroo leather or proper leather. I don't know why they use them. That's synthetic rubbish.
Well, Jason Ackermanis knows a thing or two about wet weather footy. We'll get Matt's thought on the Suns in a moment.
Throw in right forward pocket, Will Ashcroft. Nicely tackled, and the umpire, I thought he was going to whistle for a high shot, but it's going to be a ball up.
Eddie?
I think they need to be. They don't have to be a stoppage dominant team, but they have to be nearly breaking even sort of thing, and then the rest of their game's in pretty good nick. But it is 19-43. And so give context, Melbourne beat West Coast by that yesterday, and there's a gulf between Melbourne and West Coast. That's the disappointing thing. You can't win by getting slaughtered with those numbers.
Well, the Suns have rumbled it up to basically the centre circles. Free kick goes to Flanders. That's a shocking kick from Flanders. He's turned it over, but it's going to be a free kick against McCluggage. It'll go to Tuke Miller off the ball. Now Miller's got a run by, and it's Joel Jeffrey with the handball received. Long kick inside 50, spoiled by Payne. Rogers tries to inject himself into the contest, can't quite pick the ball up, but he cops one high. And that's just a lazy bit of tackling, just the arm thrown out there. I think it was Wilmot, and it'll go against him. It'll be a shot for Jakey Rogers from about 30 metres out, slight angle to the left.
Well, that shows some energy at the moment. I'd like to see that replay. I think it's almost his teammate. He just, is not a free kick.
He's just basically run into the arm of Berry.
And Berry's done everything not to make contact. What are you supposed to do?
Well, the contact was there, made it easy for the umpire to adjudicate as Jake Rogers comes in. He's coming off the long run as well. Let's go from 35, and he's missed to the left. The crowd love it. 64 plays 30. 34-point margin, 8 gone, final turn.
With justice on the universe there. That was not a free kick. But we move forward. This is too easy.
Again, short pass to the pocket for Fletcher. Fletcher short to Bailey. Bailey kicks it back to Fletcher. And the Suns set up, they're scurrying to work out how can we stop a free man getting the ball here. Payne's
20 metres for them, each man.
In the pocket. Payne kicks long now to a contest. Hewlin leaves his man to spoil away from Dunkley. Bodie Hewlin's kept trying. He's punched it out of play.
We always have some good players. They've got some talent.
All their half-backs have, because the ball's been flying down there so much that their half-backs have competed pretty well.
Yeah, too much.
Hugh McCluggage with 28 disposals and 14 contested. Will Ashcroft 28 and 15 contested for Brisbane. And the Gold Coast Suns, Tuke Miller 24 and Noah Anderson 21 as the umpire throws it in commentary wing. Off hands, Will Graham, tackled into the ground by Lockneil. Beautiful ball and all tackle, safely delivered into the Gabba turf.
Yep.
The umpire will ball it up. Didn't get into his back. It was a nice tackle, Matt. Good technique.
Was coaching specialty.
Off hands, Wits. Will Ashcroft towed it off the deck. Getting in front, it was Noble. He was buffeted off the ball by the youngster in McLaughlin. He got the handball back to Will Ashcroft. He tumbles it towards left half forward. Off the ball, Connor McKenna barreled over by Mac Andrew, who looks back kind of wistfully to the umpire, says, I didn't do anything, as the ball goes over the boundary line and be a throw in at left half forward.
Remember the crackdown on dissent, and this is umpire appreciation round. Yes. Mac Andrew has got to get pinged one time just to be reminded of his responsibility, because he gobs off so often.
And Holman got lucky tonight.
Yeah, he would have given away so many free kicks when that crackdown was happening. What was that, start of last year?
Yep.
From the stoppage, left half forward for Brisbane. Bailey emerges, got a hand pass from Neil, tackled, hands it away in desperation. Hewlin picks up for the Suns. 20-metre hoping hand pass. It ends up in the hands of Fletcher of Brisbane. Hands it to Levi Ashcroft. Hands it on to Rayner. Rayner's hand passed up the boots of Neil, and it's out of play. And we're all for a rule coming in to remind players, but that now is just a subplot in the bizarreness of a crackdown. You can't have players...
It's token.
Yeah, it was token, but someone, the way that Andrew carries on, needs to get reminded of it every now and then.
Well, you bring the overkill back because it's getting...
No, we don't want the overkill, but what was it?
One early and
then it was disappeared. Exactly.
So Tuke Miller gets a handball over to Will Graham, can't control it, picked up by Answorth, and he's picked up by Will Graham, who followed it up just forward to centre wing. There'll be a tackle into the ground. Umpire will ball it up. I'm with you, Q. I mean, he's a young player. He's got some maturing to do. He's got all of the skills in the world, but just shut your pie hole, champion.
We don't know what he's saying, though. It could be in jest and could be quite funny. He might not be as... you just don't even... Hey, you know how it is. A bit of banter, and the banter's safe and sound. It's nothing derogatory or anything like that. So maybe that's why he's getting away with it.
I think there's the overall look as well, Acker, as McInerney slaps it forward. Once again, Will Ashcroft gets to the ball first. That's what he does. Handball into the path of Rayner. Rayner over the top to Gardner. Gardner Archie. Archie curls it around the corner, misses. Under enormous pressure. That was well done by Dan Rioli to put him off. He was 20 metres out when he snapped that. One behind. 65 plays 30 back to a 35-point margin.
I tell you what, I'm going to have to wait till later in the year to get a good Q clash.
Yeah.
Lions have just dominated this one again. Mac Andrew takes a mark at left half back for the Suns. Long kick to set Gold Coast into attack. Harris Andrews. Wonderful three-touch mark, and Ethan Reid is frustrated. He tried to nudge him under the ball, but Harris was just too good there.
Yeah, all night those two key forwards have looked for balls over the back. It's just not there. Payne and Harris Andrews are just dominating.
And the horseshoe switch from right half back to left half back. Fletcher's got space to mark, bounce, run to the wing, drive Brisbane deep into attack again. McInerney at the back. Andrew makes the spoil and thumps it out of play.
That was a great run by McAndrew because he kicked that long ball down to when Harris Andrews out-marked his opponent and scored.
Oh, and the record crowd's about to boo because kick's been cancelled, Pricey. It's too wet.
H&S.
Oh, that's it.
Someone might fall over. Unlike all the other times, you get hit on the scone 4 times and somebody kick the kick.
Throw in forward pocket for Brisbane. McInerney gets it down, taken by Flanders into the ground. Tackled beautifully and fairly. The umpire will
hang on, Bryce,
ball it up.
Bryce, are you saying that body language is too much from McAndrews?
Well, I think gesticulating with your hands towards an umpire is fraught with danger, Acker. That's what I'm saying. The ball's loose in the Brisbane forward line. It's picked up by Noah Anderson. Anderson to Noble. Noble now to the runner, Bodie Hewlin. Left half back. He went the check side and kicked it out of bounds on the full. Nothing working for the Suns tonight in Q Clash 28. Well, and actually, it did work because it bounced in front of the boundary line. One umpire was suggesting it was out of bounds, but the boundary umpire said, no, I'll throw it in just for the centre wing.
And a Colgate ad as well, just to throw it in there. So
no,
that's a red card now, Jason.
Sorry.
Editorial policy breach.
Third warning.
I'm out. See you, fellas. See you next week.
Jason Ackermanis has been sent to the CP.
He's
gone to the back of the Fox.
He's got the pass plays gig to get there.
Flanders wins the stoppage. Hand passes to Humphreys. Kick towards half forward for the Suns. Out the back. Payne wins it off the pack. Great row. Bursts through. Hands it to Lester. Rushes a kick. Rao takes the mark.
He actually went. He's at the back. He's Gonski.
I'm trying to watch the footy.
Sorry, mate.
No, that's all right. Rayner's got it in the middle of the ground. His hand passes in the air. It's stolen by McCluggage. Andrew tried to hand it away. McCluggage hands to McKenna. He gives it to Bailey. Steadies on 40. Swivels and snaps. As he's kicked a point. What are you pointing at, Mike?
Darcy Gardner standing in the forward pocket. He was 20 metres by himself. He's given him an awful serve too.
Bailey kicks a point. 6 goals the lead.
I think Bailey just put the blinkers on, having the shot from 40, and Darcy Gardner's just reminding him that it is a team sport. At the left back pocket is Sam Flanders for Gold Coast. Kicks it to the outer wing. Walters fists it forward. Oh, well done, Will Ashcroft. He's going to take his dad's medal. Handball inside. McInerney toes it inside 50. Gardner flies at the ball, can't quite pick it up. Collins has dragged it in and under. They're appealing for it. The umpire says holding the agate. Oh, it was actually the other way. He dragged it in underneath Kalachi and got away with it, Sam Collins. He will take the free kick in the defensive 50 for the Gold Coast Suns. Let's just say it was a toothpaste commercial, but the red and white was confusing.
Acker's left his phone behind. He'll be back.
He can't go anywhere with that. We'll get security to bring him back.
Jared Berry flew and almost took a grab over Holman. The crowd got excited there. And it's getting a bit loose at the end of Q Clash 28 because yet again the Suns haven't been able to provide enough of a footy contest.
Yeah,
Reigning
goals
Premier
for the game.
Yeah, they're 6 goals in front, the Lions. Boundary throw in out at right half forward for Brisbane. Bottom of the pack. Yeah, no clearance there. And you're back, Jace? Thank you.
I'm back. Sorry about that interlude. I just had a chat with management.
All clear, mate?
It's all clear.
Yep.
I have no idea what I was talking about then.
That's okay.
I've got memory loss.
I knew you weren't going too far because you left your phone. Back over the boundary line for another throw-in. Brisbane 9-12-66, Gold Coast 4-6-30. No, you haven't missed anything. You know what? This is going to be another one of the forgettable Q clashes apart from the crowd, which will be a record. But outside of that, same story, Brisbane far too good.
And the big story might be Will Ashcroft as he gets possession number 33 as towed out of the deck inside 50 off hands. It's taken there by Connor McKenna, beautifully tackled over the boundary line, holding the ball.
Who's doing the call there for who's going to make that the Ashcroft medalist?
Well, I may know that there's a couple of people around us that are voting, but we'll let that know. As Nick Holman gives it off and goes back for the 1-2 handball, gets on the left foot, kicks it beyond centre wing, through the hands of young Ethan Reid. Hasn't affected the game too much this evening. Picked up by Humphrey. Humphrey to Rao. Back to the run of Holman, tackled by Wilmot. He had to let loose the ball. Now Will Graham, he's tried hard all night, Will Graham. Handball back into the corridor to Noble. Has to shrug off a tackler. Gets it onto his boot. That's a lovely pass to find Dan Rioli. Still inside the centre square. He chips it 20 metres forward. He misses Rogers by 2 metres. That allows Harris Andrew to go onto the ball. He's got it. He's tackled by Walter. It was very fortunate not to be awarded a legal disposal. It goes out to Payne to Ainsworth. Ainsworth now to Hipwood in the right back pocket, who just kicks a sack.
That's a right foot bomb to the wing, which is marked by Dunkley. Dunkley plays on, kicks Brisbane to half forward. McKenna can't mark, running with the flight, but roams his own crumb. Hard on the boundary, 65 from goal. High kick from Connor McKenna. Bailey's at the back of 2. Oh, he gambled on it, getting out the back, and it almost did, but the Suns defenders combined to just nudge it out of play. Pretty smart small forward play. When you're against Mac Andrew, you think, I'm not going to beat him in the air.
No,
try and beat him out the back, and the ball almost slipped out the back but went over the boundary line. Brisbane leading by 6 goals. We haven't seen a goal in this last quarter.
No.
It's been a bit of a scrap. Boundary throw in. Reid is shoved off his kick by Dunkley. Holman picks up, hands it to Flanders, clearance Suns. Hands it to Miller. Miller from defensive 50, kicks Gold Coast to the wing. Kings had a quiet night. Payne spoils it away from him again. And over the boundary line, it goes for a throw-in. Brisbane led by 3 points at quarter time, 11 at half time, 34 at three-quarter time. Brisbane's kicks 3 points to 1 point in 18 and a half minutes of the final quarter so far.
Once again, King was behind his opponent then. It's wet weather, it's slippery. It just defies logic that you would continually want to play from behind against these key defenders.
That might explain why he's only got 2 touches.
Yeah,
Ashcroft
absolutely.
gets yet another one. Goes to Ainsworth. Ainsworth still behind centre wing, kicks it beyond there, off the hands of Bailey. Noble couldn't quite pick it up. When he eventually does, he had Jasper Fletcher on his hammer. It spills away. Connor McKenna comes out of his hands, and Dunkley tackled into the ground very roughly indeed, but the umpire says fairly. It's a very scrappy affair in this final term. The umpire's going to come and
Blood
ball
rule.
it up. A bit of a blood rule. Who's that one? Let's surprise, surprise. It's Nick Holman. Who's got either his or somebody else's blood. Jess Stewart's on the boundary.
Nick Holman's got a pretty badly injured hand, it looks like here. So that's where the blood's coming from. It looks like a pretty bad injury, to be honest.
Is that the pinky? It looks like he's already got tape on it, Jess. Is it in the webbing? It just looks like...
Yeah,
I can't tell if it's the...
Yeah, we'll keep an eye, Jess. See if we can pick something up. On the outer side, Rogers wins the crumb for Suns. Hands it off to Witts. His rush kick is intercepted by Harris Andrews, who has had another very good night. What measure do you give for giving defenders votes on a night like tonight?
Well, if you're a coach, you've got to understand, you've got to play your role. He's been enormous. You know, our forwards, some of their forwards, Archie and...
Andrews chips to Zorko. Zorko's kick, Darkley can't mark. Flying uncontested on the wing. Taps it to Berry, lost it. Rogers steals it for the Suns. Hands it to Anderson. Hands it to Ainsworth. He hand passes back to Anderson. Hand pass to Miller. Suns run the wing. Zorko and Miller. Zorko bats it away. Miller gets it back. Then McKenna comes from behind to harass Bailey. But Bailey gets the hand pass to Rogers. It's attritional for the Suns to get it to half forward. Now it's taken by Ainsworth. Long kick on goal. Fly, but no mark in the square. Is it kicked off the ground?
Ethan Reid.
For a goal by Ethan Reid. He's got the goal. Everyone was looking at the fly from King, but Reid's
deft.
Reid's got the toe poker to it on the goal line for the Suns' 5th goal, and 5 is the difference.
That's a nice goal.
At 9-12, 66 to 5-6, 36.
Just reflex late in the game. Just put the front hoof out and got a hold of the ball. It's a pretty good goal. It doesn't mean anything, but King went for the fly and then nice little goal. That's soccer style. Very nice.
So that's a goal apiece to Reid and King. King's only had the 2 disposals and Reid has had the 4. So 6 disposals between the 2 key forwards. 2 goals and both of them actually from the goal square. So they haven't affected it outside the goal square.
Yeah, 1 metre out. What are the chances? That one down that end and then that one there. He'd want more out of them if you did it.
It's a dominant performance here. Will Ashcroft, 33 disposals. McCluggage, 29. And Lockneil gathers this one, gives the handball forward to Rayner, back to Neil. He wheels around onto his right shoe and gives it inside 50. It's a big fly from Charlie Cameron to spoil front and square Noble for the Suns. Handball forward to Flanders. He's reefed off the ball, got his hands to it. Mac Andrew has it on the arc. His handball cut off by Charlie Cameron. He gives it back to Jasper Fletcher. Off a step, Fletcher inside 50. Archie battles his way to the front, but that's strength. Sam Collins.
He's a brute.
Oh, he's one of the... Oh, he's a reliable fullback. I love him, and he gets it and kicks it to the goal square to Hewland.
The only, not quite only, but the notable of the night, indeed, it is a record crowd for a Q clash as Rayner forces a turnover. Oh, but legged his opponent. He was running into the open goal. Luckily for Bodie Hewland, in company with Noah Anderson, who conspired to muck it up in the back pocket. Hewland kicks to half-back. Powell presents and marks. 33,612. 33,612. That's a record Q clash crowd. Jess on the boundary.
Yeah, Holman's about to come back on. He's just waiting for a change, but he has had that blood all cleared up now.
Thanks, Jess. And we'll get Jess's reactions from the Lions' rooms after, as Flanders on half forward will kick the Suns into attack. Gets out the back. Ainsworth roves and kicks another Suns goal. To the hoots of the Bears fans at the Gabba.
They'll come back for a draw in 4 minutes. Anything can happen. Now, I didn't know. Can I just ask, are you allowed to... You see Rayner handed the ball to the umpire, then the umpire handed it to...
That's very clever from Cam, because he has to give it back. That should be 50.
Yeah, that should be 50. I thought that was...
Paid early in the year.
Yeah, well, and the Freo Collingwood game last year was the big one.
Yep. So, yeah, well spotted, Acca. 33,612. And again, considering it is Magic Round, it's the centrepiece of rugby league in this part of the world. The fact that the two locals can pull a crowd like this on a Sunday night before the public holiday, mind you.
One thing I didn't ask
for the game.
The chairman, do you think this would work on the Sunday night down at Carrara? Is this a Sharesies or do the Lions want this?
Well, I reckon the Suns fans may have made their way down here. The Lions fans don't like going up the M1. Simple as that. As McCluggage can't quite pick it up, but he does bat.
That place, Price.
He does. Oh, mate, takes you now. It's like getting out of Waverley, if you're listening. It's like getting out of AFL Park Waverley. So Will Graham it was who was tackled into the ground. So the umpire will ball it up just forward to the centre circles. Noble takes it off hands, gets it to the outside of his right boot and kicks it. It's going to bounce over the boundary line. The umpire will call it. No intent. Bring in the lasso. Written and authorised Michael Price.
We won't stop talking about it either, Price. You're spot on. That's an easy rule.
4 goals to lead to Brisbane.
The change, it's a beauty too. I like it.
And the Premiers really, I mean, they looked good at times against St Kilda. Pretty horrible last time they were at home against Collingwood. You know, without raising a sweat, Matt, they're building a platform for another top 4 finish. And they've been patchy to get to 7-1, dare we say that?
Absolutely.
Ball's at right half forward for Brisbane. Hipwood does the rove. He hands it to Rayner. It's sat up. He got nailed in the tackle by Holman, who's still trying. Ball comes free. Fletcher picks up on the wing. High kick to half forward. It pitches away from the wrestle of Noble and McKenna. Big Wits is there to pick it up. Oh, Rayner nails Holman. Great tackle. Holman got rid of the handball to Hewland, then to Wits. There was a bit of IOU in that. Hand pass to Rowell on the wing. This is good movement. Suns playing their best footy when the horses bolted. Rogers kicks to the pocket. 2 grabber. No mark to Reid, who has to follow up and force a ball up near the pocket, 40 metres out. Yeah, Holman's been going hard all night. And Cam Rayner.
Yeah.
It was good by Holman too to be able to
worn
possess and then give the handball off.
That is a rugby league special, that one.
A ripping tackle, but beautifully worn by Holman, and that's come off the shoe of a Lions player and offhand, so it's going to be over the boundary line at left half forward for the Suns. They're trailing by 24 points, 26 gone, final term. As Q Clash 28 hasn't reached the heights we would have hoped for, even though the crowd has certainly done that. Off hands of McInerney. It's well taken by Bailey Humphrey. Breaks a tackle from 50. He launches. He's got the distance, but it goes wide to the right. Fisted through, one behind. 66 plays 43, 23 points the margin, 26 gone. Final term.
Yeah, and on that, if it's ain't broke, don't fix it. I think part of the guarantee, because the Lions are going so well and they've got so many people wanting to come to the Gabba, that's part of what I think keeps it at the Gabba for the time being. No guarantee that you get a full house at Carrara tonight.
No, they're on holidays. Do they get a day off? Surely.
Zorko receives the ball at fullback. Dane Zorko. Q Clash 25 for the Broadbeach Cat, who said, "Can I play for you?" They said, "No." "Can I play for you?" They said, "No." "Can I play?" "No." And eventually he went up the M1 to become a dual All-Australian and a premiership player. One of the stories of the Queensland rivalry, Dane Zorko, a Brisbane champion, overlooked by Gold Coast. Ashcroft's got it on the wing. That's Levi. Chips in field to Andrews. Andrews takes the mark. Marshalling as always. Harris, Andrews.
Fill your socks here with some touches, Aka.
Oh, yeah. These are junk, but you take them. I got 30 touches today, sweetie. Did you see me?
It's fantasy footy time. Zorko got another one. Gave it back to Andrews. Andrews chips to Rayner. Rayner takes the mark on the wing. By the way, Brisbane go to Hobart to play North next week. Gold Coast, they start their Darwin trip. They're hard to beat there. Mind you, they're going to have to be good. They got the Dogs next week and Hawthorn after that, the 2 weeks in Darwin.
And having the Dogs had a good weekend in Ballarat, as Will Ashcroft collects disposal number 34, if you're talking about padding up your stats, but it's not bad when 17 of those are contested. He goes backwards inside defensive 50 to find Payne. They've got the cue in the rack, 23 points up Brisbane, and they're waxing possessions here. He kicks it Payne to left half back to find Lockie Neal in front of Noah Anderson, who's tried hard. 26 touches for him.
Are we getting Dare the Bear or are we getting the proper song?
I reckon we're Dare to Meet the Bear. It'll be very interesting to see what they pull out.
Got choices.
A big right foot kick, and Eric Hipwood goes the juggling mark. Well spoiled in the end by Andrew. In front of them, Flanders gets bumped off it by Rayner, who's enjoying himself in the physical stakes tonight. Cam Rayner, a big smile on his dial as he delivered that bump, fair but harsh, over the boundary line for a throw in.
Surely he's been watching Magic Round all weekend. Cam. He's enjoying this.
Oh, he loves the physical contact. Boundary throw in inside the final minute of Q Clash 28. It's a shallow throw in. McInerney wasn't even looking at the ball, which was he couldn't get to the drop. Foraged for by Graham. He's tackled by Levi Ashcroft. So, round 22, 2018, through to now, as part of 7 years, Suns have only won one Q Clash in that time. It'll be Brisbane 12 of 13. Anderson with the clearance for the Suns. Kicks deep into attack. Payne punches it away from King. Andrews arrives to help out. Reid picks up for the Suns, though. Ineffective hand pass. It's in the pocket. Answorth foraging forward to lock it up for the Lions, and indeed does so. Well, it's a great crowd, and certainly there is something building between these two, but until the Suns can be competitive on field against the Premier, it's only a rivalry in postcode only. Miller bursts through at the end of the game, gets a boot to it, kicks a goal. Does he beat the Hooter? Yes, he does. He kicks a goal with a second or so left. Touk Miller with a goal, and 17 points is a fool of the margin, really. The Suns have kicked the last three in the game. Brisbane lead by 17 points, but never really looked like losing since halfway through the second quarter.
No, they've had the game in total control. They just ran out a little bit of gas, and Brisbane have probably conceded field position by just trying to hang on to the ball. But yeah, a dominance by Brisbane.
That looks touched. I reckon that'll
come back. You reckon they
come back? I reckon only a second to go. I know, and they have to do it because maybe not. I could be wrong. These glasses, 28 over 28 vision. I could see the Victoria, but I missed that one. That's
one of your best, Jason?
No, well, it looked like that, did it not?
Hold on. The umpires are pointing.
Hang on.
At least it was just your glasses. It wasn't a brain.
I reckon it's deviated off the leg.
Thanks, Matty.
There's literally a second left on the clock, and we don't know if the score's right. Yep, it's going to stand. They'll throw it up, and that'll be the end of the game. And I say game, not contest, because once again, Q Clash has not really been a contest. The Premier's far too good. And the Bears will sing the Lions song after beating the Suns by 17 points.
We are the pride of Brisbane town, we wear the roll, blue and gold. We will always fight for victory, like Fitzroy and Bears of old. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Brisbane Lions will kick the winning score. You'll
That's 12 of the last 13 Q-Clash victories for Brisbane in front of a Q-Clash record crowd of 33,612. The Suns kicked the last 3 goals of the game to narrow the margin to 17 points, but Brisbane led pretty much throughout, just by 3 points at quarter time, 11 at half time. But then they made the big move in the third quarter, kicking 5 goals to 1 on what was a wet and low-scoring night. Brisbane by 34 points at three-quarter time. And then basically in time on, in the last quarter, the Suns found the only 3 goals of what was a scrappy last term. Brisbane, 9 goals, 12-66. Gold Coast, 7-7-49. The reigning Premier has won 7 of 8 to start its title defence. They head to Tasmania to play the Kangaroos next week. While the Suns, well, they've now dropped 2 of their last 3, and they've got the next fortnight in Darwin with the Dogs and Hawks to play up in the heat and humidity. We'll have the presentation of the Q-Clash Trophy, and also the Marcus Ashcroft Medal will be presented. And if anything, gentlemen, the football may not be remembered much in instalment 28, but Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus, we might have a family connection to go with the record crowd to give this little asterisk in the annotations of history of this game.
I think you can lock that in, Q.
Will Ashcroft, 34 possessions.
Won't be awkward at all. I can see Jobbers out there just getting ready, and he looks like he's going to go on a skateboard with those shoes. A bit leery, but how about this? Is this the first time a father has given to the son in an award? This must be someone else, surely. Does anyone else have, as a father, that the award is named after giving it to the son?
Did Moore hand over the cup to?
Yeah, no, that was at the Premiership in 23, but not as a best on ground award. At any of the rivalries, no. So we're on the brink of an AFL first, if indeed that's the case. Mind you, Hugh McCluggage had a big hand. He had 30 possessions. Levi Ashcroft had 29. And Tuke Miller led all comers with 29 possessions for the Gold Coast Suns. So good respect is being shown from both teams. The Suns, it's a familiar tale for them. They're watching on. And we're about to have the presentation of the Q-Clash Cup. Marcus Ashcroft is out there as well, and both teams assembling on the Vulture Street wing.
You know, Chopper said to me before he came on air, he's usually in shorts sitting up in the crowd, so this was a very different day for him to actually wear slacks and a lovely jacket. He just felt out of place, can you believe that? And now he's got to give the award. What an honour.
We'll wait and see.
Well,
we'll wait and see.
Loch Neal probably... right in there with he got 10 clearances, game high.
How's this though? So it's game 39 for Will Ashcroft, and if things go as expected, in 39 games, 1 premiership, 1 Norm Smith torn ACL, 1 Dad's medal.
Yeah, that's handy.
Dan Anstey's the MC.
How's family dinner?
We hope you enjoyed the match. Why don't you give yourselves a round of applause for turning out tonight? Now, the Marcus Ashcroft Medal, awarded to the best on ground, is named in honour of a true Queensland AFL legend, Marcus Ashcroft. Marcus was a triple premiership player for the Mighty Lions, has held club administration roles at Broadbeach, the Lions and the Suns. Please, if I could welcome Marcus to present the medal. Give him a round of applause.
Oh, doesn't look awkward at all there, Choppers.
All right. The winner of the Marcus Ashcroft Medal for Best on Ground it was only a matter of time. It's a real family affair. Will Ashcroft!
And he gets that golden mane ruffled by his teammates, and Dad's waiting. 34 disposals and a hug between father and oldest son. And the Marcus Ashcroft Medal is now placed over the neck of Will Ashcroft. What a great moment.
Just first to the Suns. Great hard fought tonight. It's always a great game that we both circle on the calendar. So best luck for the rest of the year. To our fans, thanks so much for coming out tonight. we appreciate the support, and I think it was a sellout tonight, so that was awesome. And then also to our boys, we'll keep building throughout the year. Glad we get it done tonight, and we'll look forward to next week. Thank you.
As much as it was a sloppy game, that is a wonderful moment. And this rivalry, which has had its ups and downs and hasn't really captured across a decade and a bit, that shows that this is a part which is of growing football history. The joined entity of the Bears and the Lions really has its first dynasty family now.
Yeah.
And
it's a generational round.
Marcus presenting the medal to Will while Levi was watching on his Lockie Neal.
It's a great battle, and it's great to see both Queensland teams going well. It's great for Queensland footy. To our boys, well done. Great contest tonight, and thanks so much to the fans for showing up. It's been unbelievable, the support that you've given us. Go Lions.
And Bears.
And Bears. It's amazing that you thank the crowd for coming, because we do love the crowds coming. So much work gets put in by your teammates and your coaches. And obviously, it is great to see the Suns getting up there, and they're playing some good football.
Suns leaving the ground, Lions posing for the photo with the Q Clash Cup. By the way, just to give those numbers again, 34 disposals for Will Ashcroft, composing of 19 kicks, 15 handballs, 17 contested possessions, 9 clearances, 4 inside 55 score involvements. So,
pretty good game.
Pretty hard to argue. Hugh McCluggage was great, 30 possessions, 16 contested possessions, 8 inside 50s. Levi was very good too, 29 possessions, 10 contested possessions, and 3 clearances as well. But I reckon that without seeing the full range of votes, I think it's probably Ashcroft's won most of the 3 votes, and McCluggage was the closest to him.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment as well. McCluggage had a game high 557 metres.
Having a photo together there.
And the photo op, Levi's had a chance. They got both of them, and now it's like, come on, Levi, you'll get your turn later.
Yeah.
Got to get Will and Dad together. So there we go. 20 years of age, 3rd season in the AFL, premiership player, torn ACL, Norm Smith medalist, Marcus Ashcroft medalist.
He's done a lot in a few years.
Unbelievable, isn't it? In the space of 39 games of AFL, that's his achievement.
But of course,
incredible.
Basically, missed a year with that knee late in the 23 season. That who knows, had he been around in 2023 on grand final day, but he came back halfway through last year, and then of course was best player on the ground in the 10-goal thumping of Sydney. Keep your messages coming, 0437 774 774 if you've got a thought on the round. We'll go through the ladder and all the bits and pieces there. Jess Stewart is in the Brisbane room. She'll have to wait for a bit because the Lions fans are going to give little footies to the fans and celebrate before they head downstairs. Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis, your thoughts on Q Clash 28 with Brisbane too good by 17 points?
I thought it was a bit easy, to be honest. There's not enough pressure. That last game that I sat in the stands, I didn't call. I took a gentleman who, his very first game, he's out from Switzerland, and we sat there a couple of rows back, and Collingwood did what Collingwood are doing better than anyone at the moment. The pressure on everything. Short kicks, long kick, you name it. They make it a physical, just, you've got to come out of that, you've got to be destroyed or you're going to win. Doesn't matter, the Collingwood are going to bring it. And tonight you're seeing a team that's not doing any of that. They were 20 metres, they were coming back off the mark. It was just too easy to move the ball. And the energy of Brisbane, I thought, was too much. They were strong in the legs. They were able to keep the ball alive and bring their other players into the game. And they looked like they had the run, the carry, and everything just suddenly looks like it's going your way when you're outnumbering everyone at the ball. That's what I thought. It's pretty simple footy some days, but that was an absolute belting.
Yeah, they probably played the best they have this year. I thought, their midfield dominated, where I don't reckon they've dominated a whole game. And as we mentioned quite a few times, okay, as you said then, their forwards got on top for the first time this year as a collective, and their backs are super. And the worry that I had with the Suns was, what have they played? And that's not their fault, that's just a draw, but they hadn't played anybody all down the bottom of the ladder, and I thought they'd made some big steps in improvement, but they got a lesson and a masterclass tonight.
Well, from a ruckman to a man who knows what it's like to play underneath, it's simple footy in the sense that how do you get on top in the game without winning the clearances? It's very hard. But I think you know where I'm going here with Gold Coast. Tonight's clearance numbers. Brisbane plus 19 at 47 to 28. Now, if they're going to be a good team, the Suns, they're going to have to work out a way to either change that. I mean, who can win the centre clearances all the time? But it seems, I don't have the stats with me, but at the moment, they're still trying to work out a way to win football if you don't have Rao, Miller, Anderson, Flanders pumping it out of the bullseye.
Yeah, they're good players, and they weren't that good tonight, unfortunately, for Gold Coast.
I mean, every team struggles if their good players are down, Matt. But how do you navigate that if you're Dimmer?
Well, I think Dimmer, if you look at his history of Richmond, they would have games when they would get beaten at stoppages, but lose it by 5 or 6. But they put that much pressure on it. The quick kicks that came out, they owned that quick kick. Tonight, they couldn't win it inside, and then they couldn't own the quick kick at all. And that's what he was talking about at half-time, that we got sucked in, or we lost our shape, or work rate, whatever. That's where they got smoked. So they, as you said, Q, how much they lost by, he would be happy to say to lose by 40 to 32. But then they would get them on the outside with their run, and that's what they've recruited those half-backs and their wingers for. But they didn't get that at all either, because Brisbane just worked harder and they were better at the ground balls, and their centre bounce was 12-5. That's just a slaughter. So, yeah, they're way out of whack at the moment.
And to be honest, we sort of take a step back. We live in this part of the world. We know what it's like being footy people in southeast Queensland, and maybe it's just the simple fact that we've got the reigning premier who have played finals in the last 6 years, beaten up in a team who's never made finals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sometimes footy can be that simple.
It can be. And they believe, they know how good they can be. They proved it. They've got the evidence, and that's all you need sometimes.
Let's get to Jess Stewart in the Bears rooms.
Big family contingent in here. And it's young Levi carrying the Q Clash Cup into the centre of what will be the team song. So we're just waiting for the rest of the squad to come in. Very happy Brisbane Lions room. I don't think I've ever seen so many people in here, besides maybe finals. So they're not far away from... I think they're all joking about which song they're going to sing. So we'll find out. Here we go. They're not far away now. Just waiting on the last couple to come in. And I'll pass it over.
Stay close, Jess. Jess Stewart in the Brisbane rooms. Lions winners by 17 points. So that completes the round. Sydney by 14 over the Giants earlier today, and Hawthorn by 65 over Richmond. And of concern tonight for the Lions, Sam Dayoff with a hamstring injury. So Kai Lohmann and also Logan Morris also injured at the moment. We asked questions about the forward structure. I suppose where they took that out of the equation a bit tonight, particularly when you're getting that many inside 50s. By the way, that inside 50 stat in the end was plus 16 to Brisbane. We'll go through that a bit further in a moment. Back to Jess.
Yeah, really fortunate to be joined by Hugh McCluggage in the Brisbane Lions rooms. Lots of family down here tonight, but you must be pleased, I guess, with that win. Not only do you defeat your rivals, but you're back on top of the ladder.
Yeah, extremely pleased. It was a pretty tough game. They're a really good side this year, and it was a real arm wrestle there early, and we were able to get on top in that third and hold it, but they were coming hard again at the end. So I think they're going to be in for a good year, and we're really glad that we could get the win.
Before I throw to the guys upstairs, I just want to ask, and before we get into the game itself, how much do you guys actually put emphasis on this week and the rivalry? Obviously, you prepare for the match and things like that, but we heard Damien Hardwick with some pretty tense comments throughout the week just about the passion for the jersey, things like that. But how much do you guys really kind of put this one in the calendar and go, we love these Q clashes?
Well, we do love them. We love playing against them. We've had, even last year, I think both the Q clashes were at really important times of the year, and we try and stay really consistent as a footy club and treat every match the same. But you know that when you play in the Q clashes, it's going to be a finals-like atmosphere. It's really tough. There's that, same state rivalry, and as they start to build and go up the ladder, it's certainly going to become better. To sell out the Gabba tonight was crazy, and to get Charlie kicking a few goals again and get that country roads going around was pretty awesome.
I'll throw to the guys upstairs.
Hugh, it's Quentin Hull here. Well done. Reigning premiers, opening month 7-1, but I'm asking you, what do you reckon, Fags, and what are the senior players giving you out of 10 for your start to this campaign?
That's a good question. I'd say, I think we're going, you're 7-1, so you've got to be at least an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I think we're playing pretty good footy, especially the last 2 weeks. We've put together essentially a 4-quarter effort, and it's a tough comp. Like last year, towards the back end of the year, we won a lot of games, but there was games that were won in the last 5 minutes, last 2 minutes, multiple times. So we were scrapping our way to wins then. We're scrapping our way to wins at times here. We had lowered our colours against Collingwood, who played really well, and they're obviously one of the premier teams in the comp. But I think overall, if you can win 7 games out of 8, you've got to give it a pretty high mark.
Hugh, Jason Akabenis here, mate. I just want to ask a question on the forward structure, just where it's all going, because you've got a few injuries. We've got some hamstring problems. You've got guys that have generally been there, and now Sam's down. We've got Kai Lohman, with the injuries. And how are you guys working around it? Obviously tonight, 3 goals each from Archie. Charlie finally got on the scoreboard. Beautiful. What are you talking about internally? Because you've got to start finding the avenues to go. Still winning games, still being awesome coming out of the midfield, but it seems to be the one part of the game that you just got to keep working with.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you guys spoke about in the golden days with Lee, that one out, one in, play your role mentality, and our forward line looks so different. Even this week with Darcy Gardner coming in, but he made a contest all night. Will McLaughlin came on and played his role, and different guys are bombing up each week. So, the fact that we're not relying on one player is great, and we've got guys like Ty Gallop, who's playing amazing footy in the VFL as well. If he needs to come up, I'm sure he'll fit right in. Obviously it's not ideal, but we've got so many great players and great depth that we can cover that.
Hugh, Matt Primus up here. Well done tonight. I know you've just come off the ground, but would you agree it's probably the best your collective teams played tonight? Your forwards, mids and backs should sort of put it all together against a team that have been in pretty good form?
I'd say this week and last week, to beat the Saints last week by sort of a pretty good margin is a decent effort considering what they did to Freo on Saturday or Friday night, I think it was. Those 2 games definitely. Forwards are doing their bit. The midfield battle's so big. I think so much comes down to winning the centre bounce and winning the clearances and getting it going forward, because most teams have a really potent forward line, and you need to win that clearance battle, and that's where Will Ashcroft, Lachie Neale, those guys were huge tonight.
Huey, any word on how Kitty went in the VFL today? Kitty Coleman?
Yeah, I did watch it, and he did miss a beat. He was amazing. His ball use, I think he had a high 20 disposals. Pretty special player. So there's some good headaches for the coaches ahead at selection, I think.
So that was his first game back, and it was a less than a goal, but you won the game.
Yeah, it was a great game. The boys played really well. They went down early, but got going, and that's probably been our great strength over the last 7 or 8 years. Is our VFL side has always been there, pushing in the top 8, top 4, and it just provides great confidence that if we do have injuries, then we're going to have guys come in and play really well.
So a chance for Kitty to be back soon. And I'm wondering, speaking about conditioning, and particularly, Hugh, when you're a club that's been in a lot of final series and then you've gone to the top of the mountain, so there's one, the mentality of getting up again. 2, there's just the physical energy of those shorter pre-seasons that mount up. How are you feeling 2 months into another campaign?
I'm feeling pretty good, For me personally, it was a lot of pre-season because I had a little bit of surgery at the end of the year, so I haven't actually missed any pre-season up until this year. I've been extremely lucky, but it was almost refreshing for me to take it a little bit easier and really build into this year with probably 3 weeks to go in the pre-season. And personally, I feel quite good considering the boys. it wasn't a long pre-season, but they trained really hard, and I think it's shown in our second halves that we've been able to run out games, and there's no issue with our fitness.
Jason, you wanted one more before we let Hugh go?
No, I just...
You had your hand up.
I did. I mean, can you get better videos of Jared Berry playing golf? Because at the moment, I think you're just going a little bit hard on him. Or is he just that bad at golf?
Look, I'd say he has a beautiful swing, but he doesn't hit it very straight.
I'm glad you said that. I thought it was just me. The evidence is ridiculous.
No, he's a little bit, he's all over the shop, but the boys love their golf. We had the jacket again. We play probably every 3 months, and Zach Bailey came out on top again, and we haven't heard the end of it. So, yeah, it's not ideal, but it's good
just
fun.
handicap him more.
Yeah,
I'm going to go for one little backtracker before we let you go. What did Fakes do when he ripped you to bits after the Collingwood game? What was at the heart of that?
I wouldn't say ripped us to bits. It was more like a disappointed teacher just giving you a stern word. That's what it was.
Oh,
like.
the parental
Yeah,
disappointment. Oh, no.
The finger waggle.
Yeah, mainly around defence, and he has a great way of supporting, but also challenging and making you feel like you need a lift in certain areas. And we responded against the Saints, and against tonight, I think we kept them to a fairly low score, which is where AFL's won and lost these days.
Always good to hear your voice on ABC Sport, Hugh. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Class act on and off the field. Hugh McCluggage has been for a long time. I was just thinking, he's a guy that I think has been in the top 3 of the best and fairest 4 times. He finished 4th in the best and fairest last time. He was very close to a Marcus Ashcroft medal again today.
Super consistent.
There's just a few too many good teammates around him to either pick up a B&F or win a Marcus Ashcroft medal.
He'd have to be in the conversation already for that All-Australian team slash
he's
squad.
been in the squad,
been there
3 times?
But he just got to... When they select an actual winger...
Yeah, you know what he needs?
actually
You know what he
work.
needs, and I don't want him to think about this, because if he just kicks some goals, like as a midfield, he does everything else so beautifully, and he could just cap it off and just get a couple of goals here and there.
He was so self-effacing. They're talking about everybody else winning clearances. He had 8.
Yeah,
which tonight.
Yeah, we were okay, and
the
other guys were so good.
Yeah.
Now here's the really tough question. Jace and Matt, you guys see more of the Suns in the flesh than most. Are we getting to the point of it's the same season repeated?
No.
No. But I'm just going to caveat with this, Jace, because one, we've had the sort of the soft part of the start of the year. Again, they can't make a dent on Brisbane, and no one's going to. They could go and flog the Dogs and the Hawks the next 2 weeks in Darwin, and that will not be credited because they did the same to Geelong last year. They go to Darwin and win. I reckon we're still at least another month away from working out whether or not they're the real deal, because we can't really trust any of the good form in Darwin because they do it to everyone up there. Matt, Jace, help me out.
Yeah. I think they're playing finals this year.
Yeah.
So you do reckon they're on the up?
Yep. They're on the
miles
up.
better than they've ever been.
And why do you have the confidence in that?
I have the more just purely based on the age and games played together.
Yeah.
And a second year under Dimmer. I just think... and what I've seen, how they've put teams away, bottom teams, but they've put teams away. Tonight, super disappointing, but I think they'll have a few hiccups through this year. The hiccups won't last for a bad month or 2 months of footy, I think. But I've said that probably last year too, and they put Pine Place. But I think they've grown and they're more mature.
Okay, and the reason I ask that, because there will be the broader footy community, Jace.
Yeah.
As you can see, that's like, well, how do we trust what happens in the next couple of... I mean, look, the Dogs and the Hawks might get them up there, and it changes the conversation. But even if Gold Coast do well the next 2 weeks, I don't think it wins the respect of the broader footy community, because people will say, well, that's their track up there, it's hot and humid, and they win well up there. So that's... I think it's like, when's the footy world going to work out whether or not they believe you guys?
Yeah, I don't think it...
Probably not till the end of the home and away season when they've won enough to get in the 8.
That's all that's going to matter.
Probably.
You cannot just say, we stamped our authority, and after that point it was just a fait accompli. It's just the AFL is this is the toughest season the AFL will ever have because of the equalisation. These games, bottom can beat top. I mean, outside of Brisbane at home and they're up and about, look at Collingwood, look at Hawthorn. There's so many good teams. And I think Suns are going to be challenges. They've got a few boxes to tick, got to win on the road. And once they start getting those type of wins, it's going to happen. It's going to happen this year because they can and they will and they'll get themselves going. Tonight, they just didn't have the energy. At home, they are very good. And they've got some good scalps. And sometimes you just forget that they're playing confident, flowing, beautiful footy that, you lose to the Premier at home. Well, there's going to be so many. They just won a flag and they're getting better. Don't be so disappointed if you're the Suns fans, is what I'm saying.
Brisbane winning by 17 points. Now, Will Ashcroft won the Marcus Ashcroft medal, which has no say in the 3-2-1 for the ABC Footballer
None.
of the Year.
None. Matty's so good at that, he could do it blindfold.
So, Jason has just handballed that to you.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? He's too scared. He might say, what's after a red card? There isn't anything after that, is there?
No, I'm already in the sin bin. And then management's next, and then it's...
You want to go to the big house?
I don't want to go to the headquarters in Canberra. Then I'm in real trouble.
People and culture, mate. People and culture.
It's growing. Sorry, Matty.
I thought, obviously, Will Ashcroft 3, absolutely. I more love to give votes when they have the impact when the game was on the line. And for the first 2.5 quarters, he was the dominant player. He was the dominant player for the whole 4 quarters, but he stood up then. I thought Hugh McCluggage for 2 for me because once again in the clinches that he gave them the dominance in the first half when the game was on the line, and then in the 3rd quarter he was a part of that midfield group that just destroyed them. And there's a few others. I think Harris, Andrews and Payne, I think I mentioned them enough during the night. They slaughtered their key forwards for the Suns all night. And Harris got some junk towards the end, but his numbers were fantastic. But I thought Cameron, because when the game was on the line, the first 2 goals he kicked in the 2nd quarter to set them alight, get the fans singing the song, and I thought he just gave the Suns defenders nightmares, whether it was deep forward, up the ground. Obviously Archie chipped in too, but I thought Charlie in that first half he got them going and got the scoreboard over, and then they controlled it after that.
Well done, Matty. That was good.
Yeah, 3-2-1.
3 to Will Ashcroft, 2 to Hugh McCluggage, 1 to Charlie Cameron. You want notable mentions, Akka?
Archie was right there, and like Matty said, and I'm glad he said that, because when you look at a game, it's easy to see numbers, it's easy to see data, but when you see it like we see it, and you have to be there when the whips are cracking. If you're not there helping your team, and you're not there when it matters, all the numbers and junk positions, I'm not interested in that, and that's exactly what I think we as ex-players, former players, and now we've both coached him at a much higher level. That's what we look at. That's what happened tonight.
It was hard to see some of the players too.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't. I really hope they don't play in the yellow against the red again, Michael. My head hurts. I've had enough this week.
Headache-inducing, especially with that, let's say, the red advertising on the fences.
Yes, colours.
Ladder in a moment, but I just thought, Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis, outside of what you've just seen, what's the other big result that grabbed you this weekend?
Geelong
bouncing back.
Yeah, it's not easy. And the Collingwood Army, that's the loudest game you'll ever, and they're amazing games. You live for those games.
I tell you what, the Sydney win was pretty good.
That was good. Yeah,
they needed that. Sydney, you lose that, and they're stuck on.
And I think there's a fair bit of currency in Friday night in an interesting way. Whether or not you're just going to take St Kilda being a little bit hot and cold because they are a young team, and whether or not Freo are literally just marking time.
Yeah, something wrong there. They're both.
There's too much the gap between Fremantle. Last week beating Adelaide over in Perth, and then coming down, and virtually until 10 minutes to go, they kicked 1 goal for the game under a roof.
That doesn't make any sense. I said that.
There's something, and then he had a game a couple of weeks ago when they did nothing. Whether it was a travel game or not, it might have been in Perth, but I remember Longmuir saying, we've got to look into why we're turning up like that. Well, that's the 2nd time in a row. That's just
not by accident.
No,
there's something wrong with your group.
Isn't funny. There's no wind, they say, in outer space, but everyone gets blown away on Mars.
Fabulous. Yes, I love that. The doggies love playing.
Oh, is that a yellow card for me for an editorial policy breach? What is it, the Elizabeth Oval at Ballarat? That's what I should say. Because I still think the Bulldogs, among all the noise around Luke Beveridge yet to re-sign, and now Jamara Ugle-Hagan basically gone for the season.
But you know why the noise is? Because Luke Beveridge is going to Fremantle. That's the whole point, right?
What? Where did you hear that?
He was
Scuttlebutt.
gone. They offered. He was said, tell me the last time you re-signed why I don't go to Fremantle on this offer. This has been going on for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
That's what's going on.
There's the
Really?
scoop. Yeah.
And it's, I can see it. I mean, as a coach, you got to look after your future. You have your individual needs and the club needs. It's a tough business.
He's coaching well, though, isn't he?
Well,
because they got injuries.
They're playing well.
Yep.
They're playing good football. And a bit like the Suns going to Darwin, the Bulldogs just know how to play the windy conditions of Ballarat, like the Hawks and Launceston. You know, that local knowledge on those non-stadium venues does become pretty...
I think Darwin suits the Bulldogs too.
Yeah,
their style of play.
Yeah, even when I played there, that we loved going to Darwin. But you spend all year like an F1 driver because the hardest place to drive is Singapore. So you literally work in the pre-season all the way up to that game. It's quite amazing what you do just for that 1 week. You wouldn't think much of it, right?
AFL ladder after 8 completed rounds. Lions outright on top, 7 wins, 1 loss. Then Collingwood and Hawthorn, 6 wins, 2 losses. 5 wins and a game in hand, Gold Coast, 5 and 2 in 4th. Then there are 3 clubs with 5 wins, 3 losses. Adelaide, Bulldogs, Cats in that order. And then there are 4 teams with 4 wins, 4 losses. Giants inside the 8 on percentage, quite comfortably, ahead of the Dockers outside the 8. And then
They won't play
Saints.
finals, Dockers.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Essendon, a game in hand, 4 wins, 3 losses. And then we look to... Oh, should I say Port's 4 and 4 as well? That's interesting because Port's percentage is so poor. So Essendon 4 and 3. Port are also 4 and 4. My apologies.
Where's Carlton?
They're next.
I was waiting for that.
Where are Carlton, Matthew? They're 1 win outside of the 8 at the moment.
Yeah, exactly right.
Wow, you wouldn't think that after.
Just like Sydney, just like Melbourne.
Yep.
Carlton 3 and 5, Sydney 3 and 5, Melbourne 3 and 5, and then I reckon, even though it's early in the season, that's the optimistic bottom line of anyone that's fighting for September. Tigers 2 and 6, North 1 and 7, and West Coast 0 and 8.
West Coast win a game this year?
Oh, they will at some.
They win.
Yeah, they'll win a game somewhere. Next week, Thursday.
At home.
Thursday, Freo play Collingwood. They've got to get up for that. They've got to get up for that. I reckon Friday night's a really interesting one as well for both the Saints and the Blues. Friday night, St Kilda versus Carlton.
Absolutely.
And that's an MCG game for Spud's game as well.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So that's Friday. Yep. And then Saturday, starting at the G, D's v Hawks. Well, if the D's are going to come, they've got to start with a big win like that. The Hawks seem to be settling in again after a couple of interesting weeks. Big win today over Richmond. Essendon versus Sydney at Docklands.
Big game.
Gold Coast play the Dogs in Darwin, as we were speaking about. Showdown.
Yep.
Showdown. All bets off.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
Who knows what happens there, Port and Adelaide. And then on Sunday, Richmond versus West Coast at the MCG.
Yeah.
I think Richmond will be a hot favourite.
Is anyone going to show up for that game?
Tigers fans may be wanting to sing the song. They might not get too many opportunities this year.
In the whole...
Geelong play the Giants down at Cardinia Park. A few more questions around the Orange, aren't there?
Watch out for the Orange.
Great form at Geelong. I reckon the last 2, if not the last 3, they've beaten Geelong.
Yeah, they like playing there.
And the round finishes with North playing in Hobart in the Sunday twilight. Down against the Lions. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Michael Price. Thanks to Pete Scott on the faders here and to Jess Stewart in the rooms. Andrea Williamson back in the studio. Thank you for your company through round 8 of the 2025 AFL season. Of course, AFL Daily throughout the week with Poppy, Corbin and Ben, and of course Paul Roos. That's always a way to get your daily fix. And of course we will start with the live action on Thursday night with Fremantle taking on Collingwood to kick off round 9.
We're laughing at Dimmer.
Yeah, you can chuckle now because don't put me off. I've got to throw to the highlights. The Dimmer's doing the press conference, but we want to play the highlights of Q Clash.
I'm going to the next meeting.
8. The highlights are gone. You can keep going.
So what Dimmer got his press conference, there's a bottle of water there.
Okay.
And he opened it and someone had already taken a sip out of it. He's looking at it. My night's just getting worse. Someone had already taken a sip out of my water.
And you know too, right? Oh, sorry.
No,
are we out? You're kicking me out.
And I read the clock incorrectly.
I've got to ride home in the rain, so
you know it when Dimmer's actually feeling a little bit aggrieved about life. He gets that
Yep.
sort of Elvis smirk going on.
He does, yeah.
And
Anger.
he's not happy.
No.
He's not happy at all.
Yeah, he's not, but he would expect better. They'll come back next week.
He's 2 weeks in the sun at Darwin.
Oh, yeah.
10 days.
Yeah.
Vitamin D.
And as I still think that's the conundrum of those trying to make sense of the draw when it comes to the Suns.
You know, there's a little bit, I don't know how much time I got.
You got
when I was
70 seconds.
When I played at Port, we used to play a few games in Darwin. When you play the big name clubs, very rarely, they would hate coming to Darwin because they think they were better than that. But when you play the Bulldogs, who were used to travelling and playing everywhere, they take it as an opportunity to win. So last year, Suns knocked off Geelong, and Geelong would have come up there thinking, what are we coming to Darwin for?
What's this for?
But the Bulldogs, but Hawthorn, the week after, they might think, hang on, well, we're too good for this. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out against the Hawks.
It's a good point. Yeah, there's the psychology right there. If you're doing your tips, good luck. I'm going to see management during the week, so I might see you guys in.
I've got a yellow card for misreading the clock. I was supposed to throw to the highlights with 3 minutes to the end of the show, and I thought we were 3 minutes to, but I'd missed my cue by 60 seconds. I'd run over.
So
anyway, it's raining. We'll go to the car park. And
you get wet, Acker.
Yeah, I'm getting wet.
Thanks for your company. Q Clash 28. Great story. Will Ashcroft wins the Marcus Ashcroft medal. Lions continue their dominance. It was Brisbane by 17 points. Good night.